Kids, it's Thursday night. It's 6-ish something central. Yeah, we late. It's my fault. But we're still here. That's what counts. Greetings, everybody. How you doing? I'm Tom Connors, and always with me is my partner in crime, Script Doctor, who has the prescription for all of your entertainment needs, but he is not a doctor. He does play one on Broadway, though.
Yeah, I had a great stint on Broadway down in New York. It was great. I'm doing well. How are you doing, sir?
The musical.
Yeah.
Wait, there probably was one. I'm all right. I'm all right. We also have with us our trusty and loyal Mexican Iron Man. How you doing, Mike?
Well, Tom, I'm doing okay. I survived. For those who wondered, I survived that tropical storm / mini hurricane. Cracked a couple windows, lost power for 14 hours, lost a day of work. But you know what
happens when Iron Man has sex?
When Mexican Iron Man has sex.
Yeah, well,
Cuando Mexican, oh wait, hold on, we gotta hit the SAP button. Cuando Mexican Iron Man está haciendo el amor.
Yes, your windows will break, your doors will fly open, and everything goes insane.
Yeah, we got a bit of that storm up here in my area as well. Some heavy rain this morning.
If you need her to say I, there's only one I you can get, and that's Mexican Iron Man.
Dude, you gotta narrate. Like if I ever do like a waka wah little Latino pornografia, you gotta be the narrator of it.
Pornografia. That's how you say that? That actually sounds badass.
Yeah, that is.
It makes it sound so much more sexier than it is. Jesse, yeah, no problem, buddy. I know you're running late today. Jesse's running a little late today. I'm running late today. Script was almost late, but he wasn't late because I was late.
I almost didn't have a computer because the power went off and my computer was plugged into the wall, not a surge protector.
Mike was sitting here with an espresso waiting by the computer. He's like worried. He's like, where the fuck is everybody?
Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute, did they go live without me? Have I been canceled? I was like, wait, did I get canceled already?
He was too. He's like, did I miss the link?
I'm like, hello? Is there a link? I'm like looking on the channel, see if it's gone live. I'm like, oh no, they moved the channel and blocked me.
They moved without me.
My skin color wasn't dark enough for diversity. I got fired.
No. I just I took a nap this afternoon and I overslept. And yet, no worry, Jesse. Don't hurry. Don't get yourself in an accident or nothing like that. If we're still live when you get here, we're still live when you get here. Because guess what? There ain't a whole lot of news this week. We've had holidays going on, so I think Hollywood's just kind of quiet for the most part. The only people really working are like you, Script, I'd imagine.
Yeah, pretty much. Like our long weekend was last weekend. It's pretty much over now, so we're just
things got to catch up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Indiana Jones is hurt, so there's nothing to talk about.
Yeah, they're not even doing any sort of like leaks or notions that they're shooting other scenes during the interim, which I'm pretty sure they should be, but you'd expect them to be like, yep, everything's good. We're going to get as much done as we can while Harrison recovers, and when we need him, we'll be ready. They should be at least saying that.
No.
You would think.
No. Carries is a new member. Well, welcome to the channel.
Woo-hoo! You
will regret it.
What? What? But look at all the benefits, like all the live streams we keep thinking we're gonna do that we're gonna.
So I'm saying I got to do a member stream.
We're doing one this weekend, ladies and gentlemen in the chat. Mexican Iron Man. Ow! It just hurt my hand. Ow!
That.
I'm gonna make sure we do a live stream for the members this weekend.
All right, it's a deal.
But you got to show up.
I will be there at some point.
Okay. Do you want me to set up my my virtual DJ controller and do a little scratching skills?
Yes.
For the members.
You had to ask. We could do an impromptu show, man. Stephen Otten's in the chat. Well, hello. It says, "Hail Tom, Mike, Script, and chat." 4.25 inches of rain. Oh, you're talking about rain here. Okay. No damaging winds. No power outage. I've already cleaned up my yard. Well, that's the difference between you and Mexican Iron Man.
What?
He's only got 4.25 inches, and well, you know, I'm just picking on you, Steven.
Of rain, at least, yeah. That's a lot.
I'm picking on you. Nikki D says, "Did you guys hear the comments from Barry Diller stating the movie business is over from the Yahoo article. Your thoughts? No, I didn't.
Oh, I did.
Yes,
Yeah.
I got that article. You want me to shoot it to you? I was just reading it before.
Sure, we can discuss that at some
Barry
point.
Diller, former head of Paramount and Fox, I think. If
This is a big deal.
Yeah.
Is that like Ethan Hunt coming out there and going, "Fuck these superhero movies"?
No, that was Stephen Dorff.
Or Steven Dorff, whichever one. They look alike.
You want me to send it to you so we can?
No,
pull it
it's
out? Or you got a
it's a
script?
bit bigger because
Script. You got it handy, or you want me to grab it?
I don't have it handy, but I
I'll
remember
grab
a bunch of it. Like, because Barry Diller makes some
Who's
good
getting
points.
a handy? What? Anyway, you were saying. Barry
Wake
Diller.
up. Wake up, sir.
Where's my handy? Why is everybody getting handies with me? This is not fair.
You need an assistant and a Mexican girlfriend.
All three at once that likes to touch my peen are fine by me. No.
No.
Then I'd be Arnold Schwarzenegger. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. I'm not nearly as cool as him, and I don't have a Hummer. So anyway, you were saying script Barry Diller before I get myself.
Yeah, he was basically talking about how the industry has kind of changed priorities to a point where it's more like I guess an allegory would be it's like junk food as opposed to something that's like a good meal, so to speak. And yeah, I can't really disagree with much of what he says. We're just like in a lull right now of creatives, and yeah, it's
that doesn't look like a real person. That looks
like a puppet.
No, it looks like somebody in makeup.
You know, that if that doesn't look like a Hollywood mogul, I don't know what does. He definitely has that. Like, look at those sunglasses. Hey, how you doing? I'm gonna produce a blockbuster.
Actually, he looks like Harrison Ford should look. But anyway, Barry Diller, longtime Hollywood veteran, said the movie business is over. The movie business as before is finished and will never come back. I used to be in the movie business where you made something really because you cared about it. Yeah, right. He's just an old man. I'm sorry. These streaming services have been making something they call movies. They ain't movies. There's some weird algorithmic process that has created. Well, he's not wrong there. It was a bad idea. We had no testing ground other than big scale investment. Otherwise, it would have slithered around for a while. But it was such a big scale thing that it lived and died in a millisecond. Has no relevance on anything. The idea of professional A quality 10-minute or less stuff just made no sense. Okay. I get where he's coming from.
His angle is about it's more of a manufactured thing as opposed to something that's
I hate to say it, it's an old man yelling at clouds, but it kind of is.
What do you mean? He's not wrong. Let me tell you this much.
There's parts he's right about, but go ahead. Sorry, Mike.
Well, fortunately, Mexican Iron Man's iPad and cell phone were fully charged when the power went down, but it was so loud I couldn't get to freaking sleep. So I was up all night long. It was the first night where I haven't had 6 to 9 hours worth of sleep in like probably a month and change, and I was just mad. But yeah, so I barely slept. But anyway, but on my iPad and on my phone, I actually watched a couple of oldies but goodies, and I had the same before this article came out. I had the same thought, like, man, they wouldn't even do a movie like that anymore. So I saw part of The Perfect Storm. You know, they had those scenes where the boats are coming in and they're leaving, and there's some epic scale to it all, and that was kind of neat. There's no green screen, at least not that I could see, anywhere, because sometimes those graphics look kind of real and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. I'll mention the other movie that I saw later because I want to bring it up within the context of something else. But they're not making movies like they used to. And down here in South Carolina, we here got that eagle eye. And we can tell that movie ain't not as good as it used to be back in the olden days, in the olden times. That doesn't sound South Carolina at all, huh? Does it?
Close enough.
I think it was Texas, but okay.
I mean, he's not wrong about how a lot of movies, at least within the last 6 to 8 years, have been just 100 minutes of manufactured, algorithmically driven content.
For the most part, no, he's not wrong. But I mean, this whole he's making it sound like all anybody watches anymore are YouTube videos, which is not completely true. They still make movies. They just don't make them like they used to. And look at where he's from. He's from two places that have lost the war.
Well, he's from two places that actually changed the blockbuster industry.
Well, that part's true, but Paramount, they took a nosedive in this streaming service. That was their own damn fault.
That's long after he left. Remember, he led Paramount during the 80s, which was a pretty big decade for that studio. And
well, that's my point. Is it sounds like he doesn't quite understand everything that's going on. I mean, he does, but he's still. It's kind of a old man
I
yelling.
think he understands the business quite well. I think he just doesn't like it because it's not really about the individual film itself, being a landmark of that studio for that period. It's about getting more subscribers to your streaming service, and that seems like not a very beneficial goal for the people who would be in a position to actually create and develop movies or television shows. Because if it's all about the numbers and not about the content, then the content no longer matters. And that's kind of what he's arguing for in this article.
Well, the thing that these idiots in Hollywood better realize real quickly here, and I don't think he articulated it maybe this way, but as a fan, the more they keep putting out crap, the more I'm going to go watch stuff I've ever seen, stuff I've already seen, or stuff that I missed that I should have seen. And then I'm going to gain a better appreciation for how things used to be versus how things are. And that's just going to make me less and less of a consumer. I mean, we talked about this, I think, a week ago, Tuesday, I think it was, or was it the previous Thursday, where I was a guy who went to the actual movie theater pre-pandemic, pre-Hollywood sucking, twice a week. I almost always went on a Thursday or Friday. I usually avoid Saturdays, and I almost always went again on Sundays after church usually. And I don't do that anymore, and I haven't felt the need to rush to the theater for any reason, except Into the Heights. I was going to go see that in the theater because I thought it'd be neat to watch a musical, but I was going to watch that at home on my big screen. But man, they better watch it. They keep putting out this kind of crap, or that they're putting out. I'm just going to go back and watch stuff I've already seen that I haven't seen in a long time, reappreciate it, or I'm going to go see stuff I should have seen that I missed when I should have seen it.
Well, my argument is not so much that it's not the movies themselves fault or the people that are making them as far as the actual people. It's the studios deciding, and this is what I'm getting from what he's saying, and this is where I say he's not wrong. It was the studios just deciding to go all in on this fucking streaming shit and taking advantage of the situation. And in the process, I think he's right. They killed their fucking industry in that respect.
Well, they're chasing after Netflix. That's the thing, right?
Yeah. And I get that part of it. I do agree with him on, but that to me, that doesn't mean there still haven't been movies that are made. But the type of movies that he's talking about, this shit's been going on since the early 2000s. Ever since X-Men and Spider-Man hit, and people are like, "Oh my fucking god, we can make Batman money on each and every one of these." That's ever since been where this thing kind of started, where he's talking about. That's what I feel like. So, like, a lot of the trends he's discussing, like, to me, like, oh, this is all way past and done and over with. The movies have been this way for a while. What I feel like he's really hitting the note on is what I've been saying for all this time, is that the streaming services are not fucking ready to handle the kind of entertainment and budgets and expectations that people have out of Hollywood. I watched that Chris Pratt movie. And
the Tomorrow War?
Yeah, I mean, now if I went to see that in the theater, chances are I don't know if I'd have liked it as much.
Are you kidding? I would have liked it more.
The whole reason they dumped it on Amazon was because they knew it wouldn't do well in the theaters.
I mean, that's my question, though, even though it's doing well on Amazon, and I enjoyed the film, don't get me wrong.
We don't know that for sure. I mean, Amazon,
that's the
if
question.
You have an Amazon Prime membership, you're already contributing to the Tomorrow War regardless. It doesn't matter.
I get that, and that's where I'm saying, like, that part doesn't really matter anymore, so they can say whatever they want there.
Yeah. Because it doesn't matter. All they have to say is, oh, we've got more Amazon Prime memberships as a result of that coincide with that release date. Okay, great. Did they actually watch the movie? No one will ever really know, and it doesn't matter to them because they already got that subscription fee.
No, and that's what I've said to people before when they ask me, well, how do these services make money? I'm like, well, they can if they have enough subscribers. And I said a big part of it is the average consumer never bought like DVDs on a weekly or monthly basis like a lot of us did. So what they're doing is basically guaranteeing themselves a sale, and that's how Warner Brothers and them can afford to drop these big movies every month. But they can't do it all the time once you're starting to churn customers, and that's something we've seen in the last few months here, and they're starting to realize. And that's where I feel like the problem lies, and that's where I've been saying for a while, is that the theatrical model is there for a reason. You still need it. We're seeing it now with Universal backing off on their bullshit, and they're going to 120 days. Yeah. And then after that, now Amazon, speaking of Amazon, they signed on for their movies afterwards. So I don't think that's basically to me, the streaming services are meant to be like HBO. They're trying to make them the end all be all. And that's where I've always seen them is like, yeah, it's that last line of a movie before it's done. You know, to me, that's where I think they took a misinterpretation of what these streaming services should be. I don't know if you guys agree with that or not, but I just don't feel like America's ready to just totally shun, you know,
I still think that
regular television in theaters. But anyway.
Yeah, I still think that the concept of the streaming service is still too ambiguous to be completely defined at this point right now. Like they're still trying to find their way.
I agree.
But the other part too is that like it almost works kind of like a video game model where like you pay a monthly subscription to play online or something of that nature. And whether you play or not, you're still shelling out the money. And I think that's what the streaming model is kind of working on the subscription side of things. But the other part too is the investment aspect. If they keep on using these giant budgets for their shows and movies that are direct for streaming, they're never going to actually be able to maintain the infrastructure to keep that. So eventually they'll have to start figuring out the calculation of what are the actual feasible budgets that we could do for a show that will hit or for a film that will hit, but still keep us, keep the lights on and keep the service operating so that doesn't get shut down by like bandwidth allocations or something of that nature. And they got to figure that out first. But again, one thing that Hollywood is known for doing is that when a hot new item hits, everybody jumps on board and kind of beats it till it's a horse glue pretty much. It's just gone. And then it becomes the norm, and then they care and don't care anymore and move on to something else. And
that's one point to be made. But Mike, you're going to say something else. Go ahead.
Couple things. One is that I think Script's right when he talks about something comes out in an entertainment context and you beat it with the dead horse until it's gone. I used to have 3D TVs in all my house. They were expensive as shit. And the whole industry just, jumped in and then pulled back out, from an entertainment consumer standpoint. I think a lot of stuff's being figured out. I think places like Amazon have to figure out, look, are we going for movies or are we going for shows? Like, for example, the main reason I kept, Amazon Video, the biggest reason why I probably didn't just dump it, I was waiting for the final season of Bosch to come out, which I know we don't talk about a lot of TV series here, but I love that show. I loved all, some seasons were better than others, but they're now in the final season. But I think that's some of the, better stuff that that Amazon has had. But then, I think these streaming services all need to sort themselves out and figure out where am I getting what content, because I'll tell you, it's starting to get confusing and it's starting to get weird in terms of where I got to find what, when, how, why, if, that kind of shit.
Well, I predicted that confusion as well.
Yeah. You've been talking about it for about a year or two, actually, now that I think about it. Yeah.
Well, and this is what I'm kind of saying, and this is what I'm getting to before, was like these streaming services, at least at this juncture, are not set up to take over for cable. They're not set up to take over for theatrical distribution. What they are set up for is that level of, it's like an HBO. I'm paying extra for it. It's like a premium channel network. I just have the ability to decide when I watch, what I watch, and when. Yeah. Because the thing is like a lot of the things that I think that you were saying earlier, Mike, and I think that Barry is combining with the streaming service thing, that I think they're mutually exclusive and have nothing to do with the other, is the superhero thing on top of the SJW bullshit that we're dealing with.
Exactly.
Those two things have nothing to do with the streaming services. That has everything to do so much more with the content that's being made. That's the problem. I think if we had a situation where these streaming services had come out in the 90s when we still had decent entertainment, we'd still be facing the same problem. And it would be that these studios are going to realize, oh shit, we're never going to make the kind of money off these things that we were hoping, because we're never going to be able to get 250 million fucking subscribers at one time and consistently, which is the magic number. They told us they needed 200 to 250 million subscribers for these things to be profitable. They're never going to reach those heights.
I think
not
Amazon's
at this
pretty
pace.
Close,
that's a rarity. And going off of what Mike said, he's bouncing on keeping it or not. Most people, the only reason they have Amazon is because of the free shipping. Let's be real. I'm willing to bet most of the people in the audience right now hit a 1 if you got it just because of this free shipping mainly, or if you exclusively got it for the video.
Oh shit, you got me, bro.
I don't even have Amazon Prime at all because I never needed any of the free shipping.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Dude, I buy so much.
Some people do though, especially people like me in rural areas. I live off that free shipping, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Yet again, Tom is right.
So anyhow, this next part though, we got Dash D's coming in with a super chat. Says, "Yep, same in Alberta. Blew some shingles off the roof. Head search for a bird feeder. I weighed enough, so no blowjo for me." He's talking about the storms everybody's been dealing with. And yeah, we caught a bit of it, but I can't.
It was so scary, Tom. Mexican Iron Man got scary.
Yeah, and I've got all ones. I don't see 1, 2 at all in the chat.
No, you even got me. I mean, I was making the point that I have it for Bosch, but then you made me.
You do.
I'm like, shit. No, I actually really have it for the shipping, the free shipping.
Well, that's the lovely part of it is that most
or like the same day shipping that they do too, right? That's that.
Yeah. Well, if you're in a bigger city, there's even more. Yeah, things.
Yeah, out here on the island in South Carolina, we don't get the free shipping because you got to get on the island and cross the bridge, and we don't have that service. It's always the next day.
Hillis Mallory says Netflix model had to change when they no longer could get the movies from all the studios to put on their service. Now they are more into making their own content. Used to be just the movie service. You saw the same damn thing with the cable, the premium cable channels.
Yeah.
When it was just HBO and Cinemax, they got everything. Then Showtime came along, so they had to split them up. You know, Showtime got certain deals, HBO got the others. Then you added Stars to the fucking mix, and then it got to
movie channel networks.
Yeah. So then it got to this point where they were stretching thinner and thinner and thinner, and that's when HBO really kicked it into gear and started doing. And HBO's always had their own content.
Yeah,
but it's always kind of been secondary. It wasn't until they started getting hits like The Sopranos that really blew it out the water, where they're like, "Holy shit, we can bring in an audience with this like a network show." And the amount of money that HBO is generating, because the cost of the subscriptions is outrageous. Most people paid.
Kind of like had a pay-per-view model for a long time. That's what it was.
Exactly. And they kind of, like I said, though, that kind of got phased out with all these extra new channels coming in. And then the satellite companies made it even worse. So then, you know, that's when streaming came along. And now, like I said, HBO and Showtime and all those channels still exist, but they rely more on their own content more so than they do the movies they're showing now. And it's kind of the same thing with the streaming services. They went from relying on the movies and the television content to making their own, because there was more profit, at least in their, you know, they get to keep the money in their pocket as opposed to paying it out. Because if anybody knows how the model works with Netflix, they're always behind on their bills.
I've heard that. Is that true?
Yep.
Really?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's a huge tax write-off for them, but it allows them to, you know, expand. They spend a lot of money on expanding their server database. They spend a lot of money on show development and production for some of their original stuff. They actually have a lot of co-financing with other studios and other producers for their original shows. But yeah, they pretty much make sure that they don't reach a certain threshold, because if they're losing money, they can write those losses off and then make money in the subsequent quarter, and then invest that and lose it again and so forth. It's a model that'll keep them pretty much alive for a while. The only way it won't work is if people start unsubscribing to them en masse.
Pretty much. And
I don't see how my tiny ass little Netflix or even Amazon subscription really helps them be profitable. It's not
you alone. It's you and 198 other million people.
Yeah, and it's not just you. It's the ones that, like me, that don't really watch anything, because then I don't have to pay out anything.
But you have the subscription.
Yeah, I have a subscription, but I barely.
So my $100 a year or my Netflix, what do I pay now? $14.99 a month, because I'm on that plan with my kid and shit. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, 15 a month plus, 12 or times 12. That's like 180 plus tax.
Times God knows how many gabillions of people.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh yeah. Netflix is very profitable.
Well, that's what we need. That's how we're gonna make money at Midnight Sage After Dark. We need to have
180 million.
We do have memberships. Never mind. We already have memberships. Sorry.
Well, Culture Casino here. I sent you the link, buddy, if you're around. Says Barry Diller is black pilling Hollywood. Fun. That's the thing, is he's conflating two different things here, and that's the point I was making. Is
yes, he is.
There's kind of two different parts to this. I don't think the streaming services have to do so much as what he's saying. Like, I mean,
I don't know. He hasn't mentioned anything about superheroes in that article. He talks about Quibi being like a streaming attempt.
That's what I'm saying. Idea. Is like there's certain aspects of it he just doesn't get. I don't think, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
I don't see him addressing anything that would be in conflict. It's talking about like the end goal is really just subscribers and not film, and that's why movies aren't movies. At least that's his argument. Because how many things that have come out in the last 20 years do you think are going to be watched 40 years from now?
But I say that a lot of that has less to do with it being made for streaming and more to do with Hollywood politics and the type. That's where I brought in the superhero movies.
The streaming is only one aspect.
I brought that up.
Yeah.
No, I get that, and that's what I'm saying is it's the type of shit being made has more to do with the politics and all that bullshit. And that's when I brought up superheroes, because I was like, yeah, you go back that far, that's when everything kind of flip-flopped. Instead of everybody trying to chase a new IP, it was let's chase the IPs that already exist instead of trying anything new.
Yeah, but Diller's not even talking about IPs in this at all.
I know, but
maybe he's making a commentary about these newfangled young executives that are all woke in SJW and Hollywood, and
he's not saying that part either, though, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to say he's saying exactly what I'm saying. I'm making my point on that, but
no, he's talking about methodology, really, overall, anything.
I feel like he's tying too many things together that don't have so much to do with the other because of
strictly talking about the reason people may have the opposite, which is like Quibi, which was done by a protege of his, which he also said was a terrible idea. And he's like saying, well, what's the method here? And the method is basically not to make a movie, it's to get subscribers. That's pretty much a single-minded thing about it. And it's
how's that any different than
trying to fill seats in the theater?
I was just gonna say, how's that any different than anything they've done for the last 30 years in that respect? That part hasn't changed.
Well, the thing is that he's arguing that movies actually had a different creative process back then than they do today, and that's why he doesn't define what's coming out now as movies. It's like if it's going to be done like a spreadsheet, which is basically the other term for algorithm, is that really a movie?
I get that, but
no, yeah,
that doesn't compute with certain other things that are on the. I mean, I look at it this way too. For everything he's talking about, there's an example that goes against that. I mean, there's plenty of shows that would have never gotten a chance on a cable channel that did on like Netflix. There's plenty of movies that would have like a great example is the last Scorsese one. Do you really think that he would have been able to do that 3 hours long in a theater, even being Martin Scorsese? I doubt it. They'd have made him cut it down. And I don't even think they would have let him do that in a studio setting.
Yeah, but that's not a point that Diller's arguing here.
Why are we on two different fucking wavelengths here? I don't get.
I'm just reading the article.
No, I know, but the point he's making is not the same thing to me. I'm like, he's talking about Quibi and shit. That's not what we're talking about. Quibi didn't fucking make it. It fucking blew up. It didn't do anything. YouTube is not the same thing as Netflix. We clearly know that. Yeah, and he talks about movies like Saturday Night Fever, Taxi, Cheers, Grease. Those are original properties. That's what I'm getting at is everything he's bitching about has nothing to do with the streaming services and everything to do with just how Hollywood has transcended itself into this fucking hodgepodge of we got to do everything that's either a sequel, a prequel, or a spin-off anymore. That's more what it's about to me than the streaming services. That's where I'm getting is I think he's conflating the two. And that's where I was also saying before was like a lot of the problems we're having with a lot of the things we're seeing in theaters has more to do with the woke bullshit than it being created by any kind of algorithm. In fact, that's where I keep saying is like, bring back the cocaine and fucking capitalism. I'll take the ABC bullshit compared to what we're getting now. That's why I like Tomorrow War, because I said that to Andre. It's like, I know why they're down on this movie, because it's the type of movie Sylvester Stallone would have made back in the day, or Schwarzenegger, or one of those guys. That's why they don't like it, because it has none of the woke bullshit in it. And I know that has nothing to do with what he's saying, but that's an original property right now that people are enjoying, I guess, for the most part, depending on your point of view. I don't see why that movie, which was made for theaters, is any different than something that we would have gotten back in the 80s or 90s, is my point I'm getting to. So what I think Diller is conflating things like Quibi and YouTube with things that are like Netflix is not like that in a sense. Like, I don't go to Netflix to watch 10-minute videos. I go there to watch my movies. I go there to watch my TV shows. That part hasn't changed. And that's what I'm getting at, Script. I don't know if...
Well, Diller doesn't even mention YouTube in this at all.
Yeah, but he mentions Quibi. I know, but you're saying what he doesn't mention.
Well, I'm talking about the actual content of what he's saying. I'm not trying to speculate anything outside of that, because that's just not
Right
his
here,
point.
he's talking about something that nobody fucking did other than Katzenberg, and it was a failure.
Yeah, he talks about how it's a failure.
And it has nothing to do with Netflix, though. Netflix and Amazon and all those, they're doing it right.
It was a streaming service.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to argue that, no, the studio shouldn't get involved in streaming services, that might be a different argument to be made here. But I guess I'm trying to figure out what the fuck it is that he's trying to say, because I don't get it. I get what you're saying, Script, to a point, but that's what I'm trying to get out of this is like, everything he's complaining about has nothing to do with the streaming services.
Well,
this
no, he's talking about
goes way before that. Yeah,
the incentives for what it means to make a movie and make money have changed because of the streaming services. That's what he's talking about.
But I don't see where that is the streaming services' fault. All that shit changed way before the streaming services were in existence. That's the point I was making.
But he's not blaming the streaming service. He's blaming the people that are acquiescing to the streaming service. So it's like he's.
But they were doing this shit before this. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, movies, like a lot of the movies that are going to the streaming services aren't so much made for the streaming services as they are just, oh, we're not going to make money on them right now, so they send them to, like, Coming to America, Tomorrow War, things like that. I mean,
well, it's a convenient dumping ground that some studios are taking advantage of because they can get money, that guaranteed money that they otherwise wouldn't get in a theater run. Yeah.
So I'm sorry, that just takes me back to the point where a lot of this to me feels like old man yelling at clouds, because he's not sure what he's really talking about, because they don't make movies like Taxi and Cheers and Grease anymore. I get that. I get that. I'm not totally oblivious to that. That's what we bitch about on a daily basis, but that had nothing to do with streaming services and everything to do with, you know, just the way the studio system was moving in that sense. And I get what you're saying in that respect, but I don't see where that means that movies are dead. It just has to mean that they had to change what they're doing.
Well, I mean, he's just got a different definition of what a movie is from his time versus what it is now. And are the movies now really the thing that's going to be sustainable for the studio system? Because he's arguing they're not. Like, that's exactly what he's arguing.
He's talking about movies that even then were still far and few between. I mean, those are the type of movies that like Tarantino and Scorsese, like I just brought up and shit, do. That hasn't changed. You still, like, does he not remember all the schlock that they used to push out? I mean, that's what I don't understand is like.
But at least there's something more behind it than just
maybe
a computer or a spreadsheet. That's the thing, right?
Not really. It's just the modern equivalent. Okay, you tell me when a guy goes, I gotta fill a double bill at the drive-in, just give me something with tits and blood. That's not much different than an algorithm. Really?
Well, I mean, it has a lot more open ability for creativity. If
you're not wrong there,
but you need tits and blood.
Was there a lot of that came out of that era that was probably any better than what we're getting now?
Yeah,
really.
But like now, when you take a look at like the check boxes, you've got what, like 200-300 different aspects you have to insert into your film for some of these people in power. I mean, that's way more complicated, and I think that's also, to his point, is like a movie can probably say, yeah, I want these 3 things, then go nuts and just make sure I got those 3 things. That still gives a lot of freedom for everyone else.
I'm not going to argue that
creative. But when you get told, like, okay, we need to have 200 of these things, it's like, well, you've just robbed the creativity out of the movies. And the whole reason the industry was successful to begin with, at least it had its first big, renaissance in the 70s, was because people actually experimented with some creativity, and they weren't putting out all these weird, terrible, dated and not connecting films that were of the mid to late 60s. And we're kind of like seeing a resurgence of that right now.
Well, I get that to a point, but like my point to that was, okay, the opposite end of that, instead of, it's almost the same thing, but the same in a different means of getting there. A lot of those B schlocky movies that came out of that era, for every, 100 fucking crappy movies we got one that was decent. And that's kind of where we're at now. It's the same fucking thing. It's just that the politics of getting there are a little different. Now, am I saying that this is better than that way? Oh, fuck no. I agree with Diller in a lot of these things, but I just feel like he's mixing so many things together in this article. That's what I was trying to say, Script. And I get you're saying that he's not saying that. I'm saying that because he's mixing so many things that I feel like he's not nuanced enough about saying here, because no, we don't get movies like Saturday Night Fever and TV shows like Taxi and shit like that anymore. That is true. But that's also because we wouldn't have those, and I don't think it has anything to do with the streaming services or current day Hollywood. It's just those kind of movies are once in a fucking lifetime. You don't get them very often. We've gotten rare movies here and there, and looking back, we'll probably appreciate some stuff a little more. Not really out of this era, probably because of the woke bullshit. But I mean, there's even times where I'll sit down and I'll look back at like the early 2000s and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, there's some gems in there that at that time I thought everything sucked,
right?
But looking back, it's not as bad as I thought it was at the time.
Well, I think it being dead is dead for so many reasons. There's so many pressures. You've got woke happening. You've got, which is a little bit different, but related to what happened with Me Too was another missile salvo, one way or another, however you want to look at that. Then you got the streaming service stuff happening, and you have a lack of creators combined with a bunch of little 20-some-year-old little doops who just came out of liberal schools with their little ideas getting hired in the lower echelons of the executive office.
Ryan Johnson.
Thinking that
he's not in his 20s.
Not anymore, but
20s,
like
30s,
early 40s.
Early 40s. Well, let's just say south of 42.
So he's made 2 movies that people give a shit about in 40 fucking year career.
Hey, that not today.
20-year
He's
career.
made 2 movies that people give a crap about?
That if anybody have even seen. Nobody saw
Looper
Brick.
Sucked.
That's what I'm saying. Only people the movies that he's made that anybody was seen. Yeah, Looper and Star Wars. I guess you could count the fucking Knives Out movie now.
I think it goes back to what you said. At least in the olden days, we could count on. Was it you always say they were driven for profit, and they were like parties, yachts, and cocaine? Or what's that line you always use? They bring back the beer and the cocaine. I don't know.
Cocaine and capitalism in my movie.
Yeah. That's what you always say. Yeah. I
mean,
mean,
the capitalism never went away, but the cocaine clearly did, and it got replaced with gender politics.
I agree with Mecca J in the chat. That Knives Out shit was overrated as holy hell. She says overrated as fuck. I'm gonna say overrated as hellfire tarnation fuck.
Okay, so here's the other part too that you can kind of equate what this article is really saying. There's an old adage in Hollywood called "Keep it simple, stupid." And when you take a look at the current model of things now, it's nowhere near simple. It's incredibly complicated and convoluted.
That I can get behind, and that I can understand. And that's where I was saying before is these things get blown out of proportion, where it was so simple when you had 4 networks, 10 cable channels, and only 1 or 2 premium cable channels. And I'm not saying we need less. I'm just saying, like, now we've gotten so stretched, so broad. So of course you're going to get a lot more crap. That was the point I was making with the drive-through boom. Was we got a lot of those B movies and shit because of that. Otherwise, we would have never gotten it. It just
like even the straight to video.
The weirdest thing is before I moved out of California, out in San Jose, the freaking drive-in theater that had been like a flea market for years reopened and was jam-packed during damn near like all the time during the COVID shit. The freaking drive-in.
Oh, it resurged a lot. Like I've said it before too. The town I live in now, this theater that had been around since I can remember, they had a drive-in and a regular theater in town. They'd been closed for like 5 years prior to this, and for sale. God. And now they're open and running, and both are going. And I don't see a for sale sign anywhere, so they must be doing okay.
Yeah, that's good. And then the other part too is like, as you said, Tom, it was originally like there's 4 networks, there's your cable channels, your satellite, but now we're also adding to the mix. Essentially, it's going to be by the end of this decade 5 streaming services, and which is basically just
major
network. Yeah,
I mean, obviously we have a lot more than that, and that's the thing is, to me, the streaming services were affecting and are still affecting television more than they are movies. The studios expected the streaming services to take over the theaters.
Yeah,
and that's not going to happen anytime soon.
Right. I think you're right. And then remember, just 2 weeks ago, we reported here on one of the shows that AMC was buying up more theaters with some of the cash they made when the stock ran up.
And again, I know Script, he's not saying that so much, but I'm saying that because that's the difference compared to what, those time periods. And again, it's not like there probably wouldn't be Saturday Night Fevers and taxis and all that kind of stuff, but they're probably just getting buried in the mix now. And that he's probably right about.
No, that's been an issue for good 15 years, is that sometimes great gems just don't get the advertising behind them so that you actually know they exist. And that's why you've got, things like Film Threat YouTube channel and their magazine, and like Rotten Tomatoes, before they went crazy, used to have a bunch of like critic picks for stuff out there that you wouldn't otherwise know about. And
I'll argue that things like Fat Man will still stick around for years to come.
Yeah,
there's been some gems.
Last Outpost was pretty good.
News of the World was a good one last year. I saw there's a couple other original ones. Baby Driver was another one in recent years. Anything Tarantino's done. I liked The Irishman. I know a lot of people didn't, but
who didn't like The Irishman?
There's a few people. I think Script, you were even one who said it wasn't that great.
I thought it was all right. I like the script better than I like the final product.
And I'm aware of
the fact that they should have just superimposed De Niro's head on a younger actor's body.
I'm not going to disagree with you there.
It's not the performances that were a problem. It's just
that he's walking around like he's 80 years old when he's supposed to be 30 something. I get you.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Now we're being okay. Yeah.
Well, there are some choices in the filmmaking process, not necessarily with cinematography or direction or stuff, but just choices with regards to how they use the actors that were like, you didn't have to do it this way. I
agree.
If you've seen the movie Little Man, you can superimpose an actor's face onto another person's body and it still be kind of convincing. And I say that because that is probably the only good aspect about that movie, Little Man, from David Wayans and Keenan Ivory.
So the other movie I saw yesterday when before on my iPad while I still had a charge and juice while the power was out, is I saw that old movie from 2010 called The Fighter.
Oh, Christian Bale thing, right?
Yeah, with Mark Wahlberg. I thought I was doing my, I was fighting back against the SJWs by rooting for a white guy to win. I was like, yeah, go white guy. Yeah, box, poof, 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 poof.
And maybe the reason I jumped to the superhero thing script is because maybe I was trying to point out, like, he would have a bit more of a point to be made. But even then, like I'm saying, like a lot of the stuff you can trace back to that. Like, as much as we love, and that's what brings most of us here to talk about this stuff, I was one of the ones out there sticking up for Scorsese when he's like saying, like, these superhero movies are not cinema. I got what he was saying.
I get what he's saying too, yeah.
They're not your standard,
like Terms of Endearment on Golden Pond.
Well, it's not even like the snooty aspect of it. He's not wrong. And that's kind of what I think Diller's getting more to here, is just that algorithmic. What he means by that is, like, you have, even when you go to sit down and watch like Marvel movies and stuff, people call it formalic, even though they are very varied in their approach to how they handle each character. There is a formula to them.
Yeah, there's a formula to every movie.
Well, there is, but I mean, the thing with these superhero things is they're even more formalic. I get that. You have, your origin, you set up your conflict, and then you have your resolution. You know what I mean? Like, they're pretty cookie cutter in that respect.
Well, I mean, it's a bit more like Marvel formula is the character has a flaw that is preventing them from achieving a bunch of other personal aspects that they want, and then their villain exploits that flaw, and then they have to overcome it by the end to save the day. Again, that is also pretty generic formula, but
formulaic. Thank you. I always do that. Sorry, Joey.
Yeah, but like, I mean, the one thing to kind of say is like this is what Diller's quote is, like, the idea of professional quality 10-minute or less stuff just doesn't make sense. And whether he's a 10-minute or 100-minute is kind of like what he's kind of getting at here. It's just it doesn't make sense to put that much finance behind something that doesn't actually have the same creative drive as what movies had when he was making things. And whether it's for the streaming service or for any other type of casual thing, because I think part of what he's arguing here in the subtext is, like, again, that theaters are important, and that the process and time between content is also important.
Yeah. No, and you're right there, and I get where he's coming from there, and I'm not disagreeing with anything he's really saying. I just feel like that's what my point I was getting at from the start is I feel like he's conflating, and it may not even be his fault. It may be the way they put this article together. It just feels like he's conflating so many different aspects that are so nuanced in the film business, and a lot of it could just simply be pointed out, like you said, and it's the difference now mainly between then and now. Those films and TV shows he's talking about is the same point I always bring up, and that is Back then, it was these companies that bought the studios, and they're like, we don't know how to make movies. Here's a couple $1 million, kid. Go make a movie. We'll sell it. We know how to market shit, but we don't know how to make movies. We don't know what makes a movie a movie. But now they feel like, oh, we know what the customer wants before the customer even wants it. Is the way they act. That part I get what he's saying there.
Yeah, and that also is another detrimental thing, is that you're trying to please everybody. You cannot go into an entertainment or any real business with the goal of pleasing everybody. You are doomed to fail. Like it's just not going to happen. What you really just need to do is you just need to encourage things that are new, feel proper when it comes to their execution and their methodology, but also bring something new and creative and exciting as well. And if all those things hit just right and you got the good team behind you, you'll get a sizable audience that will also buy into the premise and have a good time. But yeah, if you're trying to, like, you know, as he puts it in here, and as we've all heard other people say, use a checklist or an algorithm to figure out the best saturation of appeasing the masses, you're going to have a very boring, predictable product as a result.
I think we're all right in different ways.
I still say he looks like somebody who's in bad makeup. But anyhow, we didn't even plan on talking about this article. I didn't even know about it. So thank you for the super chat pointing it out. Now I got to get into the studio because we lost a couple of super chats.
Go get them.
You sent me some word salad there. I don't know what that was.
Well, you're looking for super chats. I can share some disturbing news here.
What's up?
Apparently my little Chihuahua Bambino here, it's possible he's been infiltrated by SJW ideology. Well, I thought it was a fluke, ladies and gentlemen in the chat. I thought it was just something weird that happened, but it's happened over and over and over again, and I'm really upset and distressed. I'm sad to report, Tom, that I think my dog is racist because apparently because I live on a golf course right out in here in South Carolina, whenever the older, like, you know, the 80-year-old white dudes that play golf come by in their carts, he's like, loses his mind, does not like older white dudes. But when the landscaping guys and the pool guys come, he's like ready to jump in their truck and go on a field trip. I think little Bambino here has a problem with older white guys, and I don't know how to re-educate him. We gotta have some kind of puppy cross-cultural training program here, because Lord knows Mexican Iron Man loves himself some white culture and my white brother. So I don't know what happened to this dog. I don't know what happened in the pound. I don't know if he got traumatized. Maybe there's some SJW dogs at the pound that I got him at. I don't know what happened here.
Maybe they're just bad white folk.
Are you sure it's the exact same dog?
No, I think so. I mean, 2.5 pound little Chihuahua. I mean, you know, it's pretty much. I'm just questioning whether he's really a Chihuahua here. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's like really like a Chihuahua on the outside and like a white cracker ass, you know, some kind of poodle on the inside. And I don't know.
I don't know. I always thought Chihuahua was just a Mexican name for rat.
I thought so too, but
hey. Well, kind of script. I mean, kind of. You're right.
Hillis Mallory came in with $5. Says, I researched the Black Cauldron. It was PG and the theater count was cut in half after 2 weeks, around 700. 6-week total run. Oh, Black Cauldron was one of the biggest snafus in Disney history.
Next to the Black Hole, I think, too.
Next to it, like, and I don't didn't they like? I don't think they ever uncovered the deleted scenes for that either, did they?
I have no idea.
I don't think they ever did. Now it has been remastered in 4K, believe it or fucking not. For some strange reason, Disney jumped to that one real quick, and I don't know why, because they've ignored that movie for years. But it is streaming in 4K on Disney Plus, so I'm hoping and praying eventually it does get a Blu-ray release, because they are finally releasing a couple of their other movies in 4K this next latter part of this year and beginning of next year, including Roger Rabbit, and I can't remember the other one that was mentioned, but there is rumors also about Aliens and a few other ones they're going to let out there from Fox. But that's just probably Heat was another one too from Fox.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but I think that one had to get fixed because they fucked up the color timing or some bullshit. Like the version that's out there now is like way too blue. Because they went and put some blue hue all over it. Yeah, that's what I heard anyway. So hopefully they fix it. Mr. Tickletrunk says, I'm tired of these jokes breaking a movie's tension. Oh, that's a point to be made, but I really don't think that has very little to do with what.
Well, no, you know what? He actually, no, I think that actually, it's funny. Who did that? Who made that comment? Who was that? That you just read?
Mr. Tickletrunk.
Oh, Tickletrunk. Hey, brother. Dude, I think Tickletrunk's onto something too, because I noticed, and as I've been watching older stuff more recently with newer stuff, that is a constant thing that happens over and over again. And I think we've been desensitized to it.
I think that's more so just people taking.
It's an emulation, really, of other times when it works.
I was going to say, maybe script, you can expound on this aspect of it more. Maybe it's people learning in writing class and mistaking how sometimes you can take attention in a scene and break it with some humor. Doesn't mean you have to do it all the time. And there's certain scenes you shouldn't do it after. So it almost feels like people are enlisting it when they shouldn't be. Does that make sense, script?
It could be. I mean, it's one aspect of it. I don't ever remember getting a lesson of that nature. And
well, I'm not saying you, but you're
like
out of school for how long compared to some of these younger kids, probably.
Yeah, I mean, the other part too is that sometimes you do need a good tension breaker. And in many cases, sadly, a lot of the levity you see in films is probably a director or a producer's idea that happens within a couple of days of them shooting that scene, and they decide to do a pickup and do a joke in there because they feel it might be useful to break tension. There's this really bad aspect that a lot of I've encountered a lot of managers dealing with, where they're basically like, yeah, you can't have a character in a movie that takes place, say, in about 6 hours, be nonstop all the time. They have to take a break. They gotta, have a respite, have a joke or something. And it's like, well, if this is a serious movie and we're putting this character through like a series of trials, and most of which he has no control over because he's like a victim to the antagonist, why would he need that break here? The whole idea is that he gets that break at the end. That's the cathartic release, and like that's what they don't understand going into the development process. Is sometimes you have to earn that levity, you have to earn that joke. And in many cases when we see it in films, especially like within the Marvel films, because they're ones who most prominently do it, it doesn't feel earned and it just feels out of place. And Joss Whedon is notorious for that a lot, even within his like television shows and whatnot. Like Buffy is a fantastic show at that point, but it just gets pretty tiresome to the point where you can set your watch to a levity joke in that episode.
That could be part of the problem. I mean, I just feel like it's one of those things in a writer's arsenal that if you use it properly, because like growing up, when I noticed it being used was always during or following like a scary horror scene to kind of break the tension, or after a major action sequence, you'll have kind of a quick, quip or whatever to kind of break the tension there. But then it, like you just said, it's like through Marvel movies and certain other films, it seemed like they started throwing them in places they didn't really belong. And in certain aspects, if you can take the audience by surprise and get a good one, but when you're doing it all the time, like I can understand why people are getting sick of it in Marvel films. Like
it's exhausting.
Well, you can't have, and even though I did chuckle at it in the theater, you can't have an entire, Asgard blowing up and have the whole foundation joke and all that kind of shit. Even though it is funny in that respect, it doesn't work in your world. And I think maybe that's more what I'm getting to too, is like you need to be able to pick and choose when those things happen, because you are almost breaking the fourth wall when you do that. I mean, you are, but you're not.
Or at least you're walking the line of an earnest take on something. Yeah.
And I mean, when you see something like that in a Marvel movie where that's supposed to have some gravitas or weight to the story, I can see the audience having a problem with that. But yeah, when you have a scene like in Speed where, after they get off the bus finally, and you have the whole tension and everything, the whole thing going down, and you think that, she's not going to get off the bus. And then, they're sliding there and they have the whole, discussion about how relationships built on,
traumatic events
usually don't, all that kind of shit. That kind of a thing is that discussion and joke is for the audience. That's clearly
earned too.
Exactly.
That comes at the subway, in the subway train, where they're like at the very end, like that's
that's at the very end. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's the earned part. If you to do that in like the first act of a film, it would be like, what? You're jumping the gun here. It's just it's not the point. Like my favorite levity joke actually comes from an episode of Batman the Animated Series called the Mr. Freeze episode, Heart of Ice.
What?
And what ends in basically Mr. Freeze and his giant freezing gun pulls up to a building, and there's a guy out front, the valet, and he just looks at this giant, this giant 18-wheeler with a big ice gun on it, stares at Mr. Freeze, and he has no idea what to do, and he just says, keys, to do valet parking, and it works, and there's no reaction to anyone else. And after he says that and he gets the cold shoulder, he just runs away because Freeze is now, building his little ice barrier around it. And it's well timed, it's well earned, and it doesn't actually, it's a little plays into the absurdity of the situation without breaking completely your engagement in it.
Okay, I think Marks is onto something here, because this reminds me, this joke in that movie, Korg making the joke about, he says, just for those who are listening, so you know what I'm talking about. Korg making the joke about Asgard's destruction didn't seem too bad. It reminded me of the Groundhog Day scene where Phil drives off the quarry. He could be okay. Boom. Okay, probably not now. You're right. And I laughed at both instances, but looking back at both, they're out of place. Like in that scene, the only reason the joke works in Groundhog's Day is because we know Phil's not really dead. But if that was true, that makes that guy a real dickhole for saying that.
Yeah, he's a total asshole. Total asshole.
He gets to be redeemed because we know the next day things are going to reset. In the course of the movie, though, if that was reality, that is one of the coldest things you could fucking say after that happened.
Yeah.
And then the same thing about Asgard is like, yeah, I totally giggled in the moment of seeing the movie, but that also, you stop and look at it and take a step back. It's like, oh wait, well that was a little. Korg can maybe get away with it a little bit more because he is such a brain dead character. But that scene in Groundhog Day, that was one that I've always looked back on with that kind of eyes, looking back, and I'm like, yeah, that was kind of a stupid, shitty thing to say. I mean, yeah, and his character is kind of a weasel, but yeah. I don't know, but I mean, that's one way to look at it. And I get it. And I can laugh at some dark humor. Don't get me wrong, but is it at the detriment to the film? That's the question.
Well, you also have to ask yourself, is it also the consistency? I mean, in Thor Ragnarok, that just kind of came out of left field, and Groundhog Day, you're kind of building towards those moments because you know that it's a time loop movie. You know that it's also a comedy and it's a dark one at
that's true as well. I mean, you do have that aspect. I mean, there's that difference. Like, I didn't go into Ragnarok expecting it to be a comedy like it was.
Like Thor Ragnarok, you could call it a comedy, but it's not a dark comedy. It's very much not a dark comedy. But if you throw in a dark joke like that, yeah, it kind of throws things off just for a beat. I mean, yeah, you'll definitely hit the people that have the dark sense of humor, but it doesn't always work for everyone else.
Indeed. And welcome, Jesse. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. Worked a lot today. Now I'm here.
That's what it sounded like. 12 and a half hours, no break. Man.
Yeah.
Well, somebody's got to do it. Well, we ended up getting sidetracked here, so I'm going to run into some super chats real quick, and then we're going to, actually, I think we're almost caught up on those. Then we're actually going to get to the story that I initially planned for today. But that other story just kind of dropped on us. We had Hillis Mallory. We got that one. We got that one. Mr. Tickle Trunk came in again with fuck Disney's formula. Oh my God, so random humor. I mean, we did kind of get into that a little bit more.
Well, if it was funny, it's not like they kill a guy and they go stick it around. They say some stupid millennial shit that's not funny.
Well, that's one point.
Well, that's different. Like the one-liners of like an action film, completely different than a breaking a joke, a levity joke. It's like the pig flying through the air from the Simpsons. It's just a little airborne. It's still good. It's still good. Like you can't just put that into anything, right?
Still one of the funniest things ever. It's just a little wet. It's still good. It's still good.
I think he'll donate $1 million to Children's Hospital. When pigs fly, will you be donating that $1 million today, sir? No, I'd rather keep the money.
No.
I decided to be happier with the dollar.
But see, that's a totally different situation too. Like you're expecting the comedy out of it.
Yeah.
So, but the other big news going on right now, Oh, we did get one more super chat. Sorry, but Mr. Butt Crack Media sent us a peach.
That is the coolest name ever. Butt Crack Media. Woohoo!
There's so many different things that can be.
I hope it
taken
doesn't
from that.
stink.
Yeah.
Ba-boom, bam.
I'll never be able to look at a peach the same way again.
It's presenting.
The big news that's going around is that Marvel and DC aren't showing up to Comic-Con this year.
What?
Say what? Huh?
What?
Yeah, according to we got Deadline's version of it here. Exclusive. Nothing beats trotting out your theatrical film slate with stars before a live audience of 6,500K, I think it's trying to say. Roaring attendees at San Diego Comic-Con convention, Hall H. As such, it shouldn't come as a shock to hear that Disney's Marvel films and MCU series won't be putting in an appearance during the virtual edition of Comic-Con, nor will Warner Brothers. DC films were still... Okay, the way this is worded is really fucking stupid. Is it a surprise or not a surprise? It should come as a shock.
It's okay. I wasn't
It's
going
still
anyway.
a digital, or like it's a digital con, right? It's not the actual.
Is that what they're talking about? Okay,
I think it's still a digital con. So why didn't we invest in that?
Well, at the same time,
Well, hold on here. We'll finish the article, and then I've got some strong opinions on this, buddy.
They won't be putting anything forward, neither with DC. We're still waiting to hear if Sony's Marvel title Spider-Man No Way Home, which is technically a Disney co-production, Venom, Let There Be Carnage, and Morbius, will be making any kind of online splash with San Diego Comic-Con. I'm sure they will, because I think that's what they're holding off the Spider-Man trailer for, which I was going to say anyway. For Warner Brothers, it reps their third year in a row that the studio film division is skipping Comic-Con. Well, that we can get into a little bit. That there's a reason for that, probably. Last time Warner Brothers feature studio was in San Diego. San Diego was in July 2018 with Gal Gadot and director Patty Jenkins, who offered up a sneak peek at Wonder Woman 84. With Marvel soaking up all the limelight in 2019 with the enormous announcement of their Phase 4 features and Disney Plus series plans, with arguably every single top-notch cast member from Eternals, Shang-Chi, and The Legends of the Ten Rings, and Black Widow, WandaVision, and more. Warner's opted to head to Brazil's Comic-Con in December of that year to rally Wonder Woman 94 and Birds of Prey. Poor decision. On the TV side, Warner Brothers TV will have DC's Legends of Tomorrow participating at this year's Comic-Con, and the DC Publishing division will have a presence at the Comic-Con as well.
It's all Comic-Con at home. That's the thing. Right?
That's the thing. Is I don't know if are they even having a physical Comic-Con?
That's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard.
I think
Comic-Con at home.
Yeah, I think it's got
you're just a weirdo.
For a ticket for a StreamYard link or a Zoom link or something.
God. Then you're just a weirdo who dresses up at home.
Oh, if no one else is going to see it, yeah, it's pretty sad.
It's sad anyway. Come on, let's face it.
Yeah.
Some of those costumes are quite impressively done. I've seen a couple of.
I agree. I agree.
You know,
Jesse, just like Adam West, but if it took him 5 years to make a costume, I mean,
Jesse, Mexican Airman doesn't want to like disclose too much here in this public forum here. But let's just say online, there's all kinds of things that gals will do in cosplay.
No, it also needs to be pointed out, as some people are pointing out. DC does its own thing with fandom, and I think Marvel does its own thing now too.
They're afraid to interact with the customers, just like Star Wars is.
You think that's what it is? Okay,
yes,
Mike, you said
that's what it is.
Well, go ahead. Tell us what you think the problem is. Then
why do you think Star Wars? Why is Star Trek convention happening this year? And Star Wars isn't. Why isn't Star Wars coming? I would love to go to a Star Wars convention and have Kathleen Kennedy come on stage when I'm there with my lightsaber. Oh, I'm gonna get a few choice words in. I'll get myself kicked out of the damn thing. Like, you bitch, you whore, you fucked up my childhood. Sorry, I'm ranting.
Tell her how you really feel, Mike.
I had that espresso while I was waiting for you.
They don't go to those things. You know why? Because they're full of nerds.
They're called customers.
Customers. It's called nerds.
They're called which are guess
and
what?
Then the other half are the people who are their sycophants. So they don't have to worry about them because they're already sycophantic.
Anyone like in the likes of Kathleen Kennedy been in a position where regular people could ask her questions?
Yes, exactly. Yes.
That's like asking a better chance of getting an answer out of Joe Biden.
Yeah, well, sure.
Well, okay,
she's
hold
not
on.
supposed
Wait,
to
wrong show,
present,
wrong
to
channel.
interview, and then she walks away, and then other people come on and interact with the audience. She's just there as a mouthpiece when she goes to those presentations, and she goes back to do whatever it is she wants to
Dude,
do.
it'd be like, these people. It'd be like that Disney call where the guy said, "How come you guys fired Gina Carano and when's KK getting fired?" I mean, it's that kind of shit. These people are scared to death. It's the only convention for any industry that happens where the manufacturers, which in this case would be the studios and the creator controller fucks, don't show up to engage with their customers and their distribution. It's the only industry, Hollywood and entertainment. Everywhere else, I run an accounting and tax firm. All my clients are business owners. They're all over the country. They're including a few that are all over the world. They all go to their conventions, virtual and otherwise, because they want to engage with their customers. They want to know what are the right things to do. They want to get the feedback so that they can make money in the future. Nope, not these morons. Nope. Shit, Go ahead.
No, I was just say Valiant Renegade says, "Oh, gee, wonder why? Maybe because manga is humiliating them. I pay VRV $9.99 a month for anime. I have all Demon Slayer on Blu-ray, pre-ordered DS box set manga for $120. Outsold all Marvel comics last year combined with 200 million copies." Well, the comic side of things is still going to be there. This is just the movie side of things. Go ahead, Mike.
No, you're right.
Well, it's still a virtual con too. That's the other part. Like it doesn't.
Regardless,
that doesn't. So what? They put so much effort and time and energy. Listen, the DC fandom one, I did 2 Sundays over 2 months. I did a 10 and a 12-hour stream and covered those live. If they've got enough time and money to put together their own horse shit, they can put a little bit of time and money to show up for something.
I agree. If they're doing it virtually, they should be more shit than what
they
you would
did.
have.
2 of them, and we covered them. Me on Stone Loki on the Loki Mornings of Mischief channel organized it, and I co-hosted it with Loki. We went 12 hours on the first Sunday, 10 hours on the second Sunday.
Is it just me, or is if it's virtual, it's not a convention because words have meanings.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. And I brought that up before too. To me, it's more of like this online kind of thing.
I mean, because seriously, does this sound fun?
Well, and what's sad is if this was an actual convention, if the studios weren't showing up. No, actually, I made this point before the show. It actually would make Comic-Con back to what it was before the studios came in and kind of turned it into this.
Took it over, technically.
Yeah, lots of people became an advertising kind of platform for them.
I think they're cowards and they don't want to have any kind
You're
of.
You're probably right, Mike. I'm not disagreeing with you at all. So that being said, I feel like this is like a blessing in disguise, but it's sadly not going to matter because, like Jesse just pointed out, it's not a real con.
I know I sound like a cynic in here half the time, but I'm really not. I mean, I really have high hopes for the future, and I really enjoy things from the past, but it's just like, don't bullshit me. It's really hard to bullshit me. And I smell a lot of bullshit whenever we start talking about these Hollywood people. I mean, it's like every other sentence.
I partake in virtual cons. I have no issues with those. It's one thing to be a virtual con. You have no delusions about what you're doing. But you can't call this thing Comic-Con.
Yeah, but it's not a con. Now you're just looking up shit on Google.
Well, that's what I'm saying. With this, Comic-Con is a convention that's like the convention of all conventions when it comes to this shit.
It's supposed to be a place to interact physically with people, and they're essentially just turning it into kind of like a very lazy DVD special.
Exactly. Like
speaking of DVDs, half the reason to go to any convention is to hit up the DVD man. And
there's a lot of other reasons, that you'll never be able to do like
Tom, this. Are you kidding me? You're gonna act like you don't have a DVD man? You probably got like 5 DVD mans.
I am the DVD
Tom
man.
Wouldn't be the DVD man.
I say I am the DVD man. What are you talking about? Like,
all the doubles that you have, you just throw those in your truck.
I walk up to the table and like,
Tom is I had the 60s Batman series before they settled all those lawsuits.
Tom is like, secret DVD agent man, secret DVD agent man,
breaking into ABC and taking everything.
I'm like staring at their shit. I'd be like, "This is all you got? I got a 35 millimeter rip of that bitch."
Mark 47 is right. I'm wrong. We're not customers. I got my mind screwed up. We're consumers.
Yeah.
Mark 47 is right in the chat. Yeah.
I don't really care for the word consumer. I'd prefer.
Me neither.
Wait.
I'm a customer.
You consume things that you shit out.
I'm a consumer at McDonald's. Usually. I guess.
Sadly, I am too.
I owe you a La Bamba DVD. I got La Bamba on DVD, and I got 2 different Blu-rays of it.
Well, Polly, para bla la bamba, te necesito.
Porky said it,
I can't do it without the music.
Bamba, bamba.
DVD. I'll send you one of mine. I got like 3 or 4 of them, Polly, if you need one.
Really?
Yeah, I got multiple copies of La Bamba.
Come on,
I went through this phase where like I bought I got panicked like about 1.5 years ago, 2 years ago, and I bought all kinds of like I got like 5 copies of Blood In, Blood Out, like La Bamba. Man, I got all kinds of stuff, properties that I liked back in the day. American Me.
I probably do owe you. I never did send out the junk, and it's in a box somewhere that never got sent out.
What junk? What are you talking about?
I was gonna give away some stuff, and I just never got it out.
Oh.
And I lost.
Okay.
Well, and it wasn't so much for a lack of. I lost everybody's info, and whoever it was probably quit listening to it.
They desubbed. They never got what they wanted, and then they lost their sub.
Because I asked like 3 times. They're like, I need people to resend me their shit because your stuff's getting buried in my email and my messages. I have no idea where it went. And only one person reached out to me. And
I gotta go
like,
to
whatever.
your desktop. It's scarier than mine on your computer.
Oh God! Don't even get me started on that. I am the pizza commando.
Ooh, that sounds good for tonight. Oh, I can't eat pizza.
You can't get a good pizza around this town.
I hear you.
In
You know what's
Connecticut?
funny is we had a local pizza place just open up.
Oops.
And guess what? They ain't making pizza yet because they ain't got an oven built yet.
Brilliant.
Why the fuck are you open? Well, we got sandwiches. Well, don't call yourself a pizza place.
You're kidding me.
Call yourself a sandwich place until you get the pizza oven working.
I grew up on Greek pan pizza from Mike's Pizza Palace in Alta, Connecticut. And all the other pizzas around here sucks compared to that.
Oh.
And everybody goes on about like the pizza in New Haven. I'm just like, it tastes like cardboard with some sauce on it.
Carrie's, I hate to tell you, my mystery box, it ain't very surprising.
I didn't even want to know you had a mystery box. Get it? Ba-boom, bam.
Look, if Tom sends you a mystery box, it's going to be like a slice of pizza from whenever he bought pizza. It's going to be like, one random keychain. It's just going to be show you random shit.
Mr. Tickle Truck is not happy because now we're all craving pizza. I'm craving pizza. Shit, I'm going to go online while I'm here, sitting here. I'm see if I can get some delivered. We're going to get pizza delivered here.
Pizza is awesome. Okay, well, there was some good news.
What?
To talk about? All those rumors coming out of Paramount were apparently true, and they're better than true. We're getting all the Star Trek films remastered in 4K.
Yeah.
What? And not only that,
great. Just because I just bought them last year, fuck them.
We're finally, they listened to us, and we're getting the director's edition in 4K, but we aren't getting it right away. Okay. Here's how it works. We're going to get the first 4 films in 4K, and I'm assuming the only one that's going to have a director's edition will be part 2, probably, because that's the version they've already done.
Okay.
So we'll get the first 4 films in a box set, then they're going to release the next 4, and then the next 4 down the line until they're all done and out. And then it's going to take them close to a year to complete the director's edition because they are mastering it in 4K. So they got to re-render all the effects.
Oh, it's going to take forever.
It's 6 to 8 months. But like I said, so it'll be a year before we see that Blu-ray. But the upside of that is, though, if these all sell well, then that's more incentive for Paramount to go back and redo Voyager and DS9. So keep that in mind.
I love me DS9. And
if their release strategy is better than how they did the initial Blu-ray run and remasters, they'll probably be able to make it worth it.
So we're going to get remastered old Star Trek before we get Star Trek Discovery action figure. Sounds like a good plan to me.
But yeah, the first 4 I think are supposed to be out here in the next few months. I don't remember the exact date. Let me look here.
Mike, did you really buy the old set last year?
I just want to throw it out there, and let's be realistic.
What?
What kid is clamoring out there these days to get a Star Trek action figure?
Not of these.
I was joking.
None. I mean, even Star Wars action figures these days, you can't sell that shit.
I was joking.
September they come out. First week of September. So Right after Star Trek convention, actually. And they're actually doing a bunch of Fathom events for Star Trek 4. So keep that in mind as well. So you'll be able to see Star Trek 4 in theaters. I wonder if they'll actually show that at Star Trek Las Vegas. That'd be nice.
I'd like to see that in a theater.
Right?
I mean, I've seen it a bunch
There'd
of
be
times.
whales.
I know all the beats, but
It's also like my second favorite Star Trek movie. Next
my favorite part of that whole thing is that they got Chekhov and Uhura going through the military base, and they look like a Black Panther and a Russian spy.
Can you tell me where the nuclear vessels are?
No. No. You could come in this little room.
I don't know. I think they're in Alameda. That's what I said. So yeah, that's a good news. A little bit of good news there. We also had some other announcements. We've actually got a lot of 4K and standard Blu-ray announcements this last week. Besides the Star Trek news, there was also Highlander is finally fucking getting released in 4K. I don't have a date yet, but
I am immortal.
That's
the
right.
blood of tortillas runs through my veins.
Shout Factory also announced they're releasing Halloween 1 through 5 in 4K with new Dolby Atmos soundtracks and a rescan of the first film, which is the only film prior to this that was available in 4K besides the newest film.
All right, now do they have to put asterisks on all of the 3 through 5 now because they don't count anymore?
Well, 3 can
Or just a
technically
big
still
red
count.
X?
Nah. Honestly, I wasn't.
Did 3 ever count?
It's its own thing.
Yeah.
Shawshank Redemption is also getting a 4K release, which is great. A Clockwork Orange is the next Kubrick movie, which, fuck yeah, to get a 4K upgrade.
Oh, that movie was freaky.
The Mad Max trilogy, note I said the trilogy, not this new shit we got, is getting a 4K release as well on November 2nd. So that will include Mad Max, Mad Max 2, and Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. Mad Max is already available in 4K, but I'm assuming it'll just be the same one put in the box set. There's also news about Unbreakable. That was the other one I couldn't remember earlier, that Disney is looking at releasing in 4K, along with Heat and Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So there you go.
I know it's an unpopular opinion, but I just couldn't get into Heat.
I haven't seen it in so
the
long.
movie?
Yeah, Heat with
you
Al
could not get
Pacino
into
and
Heat,
De Niro.
Jesse?
Not one bit.
Wow.
Jesse, no. Our friendship may be over.
It was boring.
Wow.
Well, don't say. Stop talking.
Robert De Niro does not impress me. Al Pacino does not impress me.
Oh
Val Kilmer wasn't that great in the movie.
No, Jesse.
They don't impress me. Why are they special? They're
Stop
not.
it, Jesse. Stop it. Stop it right now. I'm going to tell you in Spanish. No tienes que decir estos pinches palabras.
I'm not done with Blu-ray news, guys, though.
Oh, keep going. Sorry, brother. Keep going.
These two we've actually already talked about before, but they finally have more of a tentative expected date. Hellraiser is likely due in October, so that'll finally get a 4K release. And The Frighteners is tentative for the first quarter of 2022. It's another one I brought up before.
It's amazing. They're actually going to do The Frighteners.
And there's more.
But
Paramount,
wait, hold on. Wait, I got to do the voice. But wait, there's more.
Now, did they pick that off of DVD sales, or how'd they do that? Or just because they know there's a fan?
Well, The Frighteners, I think, is getting released by Arrow. So that they picked up that. And Arrow has also done the last few releases of Hellraiser. So this is, I believe, the same scan they did for their recent release. That was Blu-ray originally. Now they're just going to bring it out in 4K. And Paramount has a couple more titles they announced alongside Star Trek. They're going to release the first of the Miramax Dimension titles in 4K with Scream. That comes out in the beginning of October, along with this one's a little bit more exciting.
You see, Paul, you say into that, but you're just going to be able to see through that sweater better.
That's right. This is one that's got me excited. The Addams Family. But not only is it getting a 4K release, it will finally, for the first time, have the full-length Mamushka dance scene in it.
Man.
That was cut completely almost down to the last. Basically,
it's like 6 minutes.
Yeah, I played the song a couple times on MEAD Radio, but like they cut out like the first 2/3 of the song and it jumps right into the end of the song in the movie. So anybody who's had the soundtrack knows that there's a whole 2 different portions to that song that aren't even in the movie. And it's actually
I only know that song because of MEAD Radio, honest to God.
Yeah, I played it like last night or the night before, actually. Again.
Yeah.
So there you go. And
But,
yeah,
hold on, wait. But wait, there's more.
no, that was it. That was what I got
but
so far.
wait, there's no more.
Well, I mean, I could add some of the stuff we've already talked about, like they are finally going to be putting together like a big Uber Hobbit, Lord of the Rings collection together. I've noticed that they did bring up more.
I thought they already did that. They had like 18 hours of friggin' footage on all those.
It's not done. Even Robert Meyer Burnett said he's got a bunch of footage they still ain't used yet.
Yeah.
Sony also
the security cameras.
Sony's announcements we've already
Fucking Jesse. Fuck Jesse. Really?
Did some Hollywood action.
It's been a long day. I'm just like, really?
Seriously, bro? Come on.
You can only look if a movie is 3 hours long and you could talk about it for 48 hours. There's something wrong there.
48 hours.
For the dude, you ever see special features on some of these son of a bitches?
Yeah, the Hobbit ones are pretty expensive.
It's like in the 8th day of special features. I feel like I've not worked on the damn thing myself. That's that, dude. That's that whole thing. Remember the Kevin Smith thing when they did the Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back and they had like 20-something hours of special features? Then they had a party at his house, and Quentin Tarantino showed up and he was coked out of his mind.
That is great.
No, I don't remember that, but okay.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
It's awesome. He shows the movie to all his buddies, which include Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez, fucking all those guys.
And on the extra deluxe set, on the 4th DVD, we'll have security camera footage featured. Come on, bro.
Yes.
And if you look really close, we used Pepper's ghost to put in some dead actor. I couldn't.
Well, and since Mike did tease some more Blu-ray news, I did have some that I've already brought up before, but there's a little more added to it. I did let everybody know that Columbia announced its second wave of 4K collection, which will include Anatomy of a Murder, Oliver, Taxi Driver, Stripes, Sense and Sensibility, and The Social Network. And as I also pointed out, they finally officially announced that all the movies that were in the first edition are coming out separately, you dirty bastards. But that's all right. But some other movies that are being announced, this one we already knew about. Labyrinth is getting upgraded again. This will be the second time it's been released. But this time it's getting a bunch of extra bonus stuff. So if you already own it.
Did they resurrect Bowie to put him back in it?
Yeah,
what happened?
I think so. I think that's the case. But
otherwise, he's got better shit to do if they resurrect him. Like
they announced, speaking of Looper, which we brought up earlier, that's one of the movies that's slated to come out along with Drive and The Hurt Locker and Guns of Navarone from Sony. So that rounds out all the Blu-ray news for the week. And hopefully Warner's is really thinking about getting on those Superman movies and some other stuff for Donner. That'd be nice. And Mr. Tickle Trunk is blaming me for ordering pizza. That is not my fault. You get fat now. That's on you. I cannot be responsible for your health. I can barely be responsible for my own. And I'm not real responsible for it. That's why I'm a fat kid.
I'm not even 40 and it's all going down.
But I am going to blame you for not ordering one for me. Goddess of Whim 2003 says, "Hey guys, I'm glad I caught you on my lunch break." Well, hopefully you're enjoying your lunch break. Very entertaining and have a good rest of the show. Well, thank you so much. We try to be entertaining, even when there's not a whole lot to talk about. Jim M says, "Hey guys, just got Blazing Saddles on Blu-ray. Awesome." Speaking of, I hope they get that one in 4K. We need all the Mel Brooks movies in 4K. We've got Spaceballs.
Yeah, so politically incorrect right now. So politically incorrect. I love it.
I can't believe that Blazing Saddles hasn't been released in 4K yet. I mean, that's like one that Warner's always. I gotta say, God bless
you mentioned Taxi Driver a minute ago, didn't you? Is that what you said? Taxi Driver?
That's going to be coming on 4K. Yeah, because I just bought that.
So, what was that rated when it came out?
R, but I don't know. That might have had trouble with the X rating at first. I wouldn't.
They probably did dance around an X rating because he took her to a porno theater.
Yeah,
but back then things weren't so uptight either. Like you could show Major Bush and nobody gave a shit.
Oh yeah, like Revenge of the Nerds.
Not for nothing, but if a chick has 70s Bush, it's covering everything up anyway. That's why they don't do that anymore.
I know,
Jesse. Ding, ding, ding. The more you know with Jesse.
Yep. I mean, seriously, like 70s Bush, it's
if I'd have caught it,
you weren't even banging in the 70s. How would you know?
I wasn't even born in the 70s.
Porn was around.
You weren't even around. How would you know?
But if you go to the beach, a bikini is less area covered.
You never went to the beach in the 70s.
Only in my. I'm glad you said that because I was very much. So funny.
You never went to the beach in the 70s.
I was born in 1983, but I know a 70s bush when I see one. You know why? Because I've seen one.
Jesse, why would you know that? Why?
It's a thing. It's a thing.
Oh, who are you going out with that
70s, man?
Bro.
That's
I
the
gotta
problem when you do what?
You got to come out with Mexican Iron Man. Mexican Iron Man will not let you engage in that kind of fornicative behavior. I just made that word up. Fornicative behavior.
It doesn't matter.
What do you mean?
You know it does matter, Mike.
What do you do? You go to wait. What do you do? You go to Home Depot and get a trimmer, and then you go out on a date. What do you do, Jesse? What do you do?
No. I just it's hard to stop me once I'm going.
What do you? Or you just go what? You go raw dog and raw face, and you just what? Floss afterwards? What do you do?
I even had a T-shirt that said 20
We lost
years
20
raw dog, no
subscribers somewhere.
diseases.
Like throughout the course of the show, we lost like 20 subscribers.
Probably. Well, you know what? They're probably too sensitive anyway.
How did we lose subscribers?
I don't know.
I showed up. I'm a mush.
We were going up when Jesse got here. With Jesse here, we should be going up. No.
You would think.
Wait, did we really lose 20? Hold on, let me look.
We've been over 300 for the last.
No. I looked at my subscribers because I went back in.
No, he's looking at the subscriber count. 18,900.
No, it started with 96 and now it dumped back down to
94.
No, fucking, it's
937. 930. All right.
It's now 974. It started at 96.
Look, there's a reason it took me this long to get monetized.
Gee, many crickets. Tom, don't save him. Go back to Jesse. You are not allowed to do any more we're going to call this bushwhacking. No more bushwhacking dating for you, Jesse Miller.
All right, I'll get a weed whacker.
You're not getting a. Oh God. Oh Lord. No.
Nikki D says, "Do you guys think the superhero craze will die down within the next 5 years? If so, what do you predict will be the next hot thing?"
I'll answer this one.
Go ahead, Jesse.
It will die down and die out if they decide to bring back Hugh Jackman as Wolverine just to make a cameo. But if they actually go with a brand new X-Men franchise and tack that onto the MCU, no, we'll keep going.
I know what the next thing's going to be. I have a guess.
Cowboys.
Nope.
Pirates.
Nope. You're saying that because you're wearing a parrot hat on your
pirates.
No, aliens.
No, we're already in aliens.
We're gonna get more tomorrow. More of these Tomorrow War movies coming out. Why? Because you got UFO disclosures, a big thing going on in another section of the universe. It's gonna spill into fandom, and
we're already past that, bro. But
you know what?
It's gonna be picking up.
Was in 3 alien movies in the last 5 years.
Let me tell you about something real quick.
We're gonna get a show where
one at a time.
They've never done movies that were about actual alien lore that the tinfoil hats believe in. There has never been a movie with Lyrans or the Maitri or Draconians or any of it.
Perhaps, but I think Script's kind of right. We've reached peak alien aliens have kind of just stuck around since the 50s, and
I'm a fan. I just told you what I wanted, but no, it's not good enough.
I didn't say it's
good enough.
No, I mean it'd be great.
Go write that movie, man.
But it's not like an absent type of genre. I mean, the one thing that we would need for sci-fi with regards to aliens is more sophisticated stories, as opposed to monsters somehow show up on our planet that are aliens and start.
That's where you come in.
That's where you come in, Script, and I can help you. Let's say there's this Mexican guy, and he runs a taco
not those
stand.
kind of aliens.
And he's running the taco stand, and then the smoking hot chick comes up, and he doesn't even realize. And she says she's Puerto Rican, but she's really a reptilian.
See, that's the problem too, though, because it's like,
and then we fall in love.
Alejandra, isn't it? Because she's 2 times an alien. There's your title.
Alien War is just like comic books. It's already written, but no one wants to read it.
She's illegal and extraterrestrial.
There's that, but I think you're probably going to go into more like crime thriller, romantic, film noir style, pulpy things, because that's a big gap. So? Don't have. It's the one thing that it's got a lot of public domain IP that a lot of producers and writers would be interested in doing because they don't have to pay anyone for it. and it could be a breath of fresh air that's needed to sort of shake things up.
That's good in small quantities, man.
Oh yeah, listen, every genre is good in small quantities. Problem is Hollywood doesn't do small quantities.
I don't know if
They don't make money either.
I don't know if noir could necessarily make this huge splash, but what I think is ready and due and ripe again for a comeback is probably Sword and Sorcery.
Yeah,
wizards and shit.
I can see that.
Sword and Sorcery, or like the old Greek story adventures, like Jason the Argonaut style.
Oh, that would be great.
I think we're about due. Lord of the Rings is 20-some years old now, or 20 years old now.
Those? You're not even old enough to remember those Sinbad, but those movies.
I grew up watching those, man.
Really? Wasn't it?
Yeah, they were on
Mike, it's like movies. You don't realize that video exists. You know that, right?
Who?
So where I grew up in Ontario, we had this thing called TV Ontario, and every Saturday night they'd play 2 feature films from like anywhere from like the late 1920s to like the early 1960s. So, and I grew up watching that like every weekend. That's the only day of the week I was allowed to be up late because didn't have to do anything Sunday.
Okay.
And that's what I watched. You'd watch tons of movies. Like I've seen the original Cape Fear, like before the remake. So like it's just that's where you get to see those great things.
What was your favorite classic? What was your favorite of those? The Jason, the Argonaut, all that genre. What was your favorite one of all of them?
Yeah, think it'd be the Golden Fleece. Yeah.
Jason that was so good, huh?
Yeah, that was a great one.
God, that was so good.
Now, what's a good fresh way to start doing mythology stuff without going back to the whole thing of telling 2 stories? Because you always show the pantheon of the gods versus what's going on Earth, like Clash of the Titans style.
I like that story. I don't know.
Yeah, but we've seen it though.
So I don't know.
It's hard to do.
Don't do that again. Do something else. There's tons of other mythological stories that have never even been touched on. They just keep retelling the same 4.
Yeah, they give you Lysistrata. That's a comedy, a Greek comedy.
There's a lot of shit.
Spike Lee tried doing that as a modern day one called Chirac or whatever it was, but didn't hit well.
Hollywood doesn't want to laugh at anything anymore.
Well, comedy is difficult to translate. Comedy is primarily like a domestic by language. So if it's going to be an English language comedy, can only travel in English language countries. And unfortunately, there's a lot more countries that don't speak English, where the comedy just won't translate at all. So that's why it's kind of like a touchy genre. Not a whole lot of people want to really get involved with it because it's all about that international market. And what translates is love and action and horror.
Horror always works. Everybody understands the guy chasing you through the woods.
And Zorro.
Yeah, Zorro is like so easy to understand without even having to hear it. He looks like he's the hero. He does hero shit, and then he carves his name on you, and he pieces out.
I got the Antonio Banderas Zorro in the mail today.
Oh, did you? That's not, dude. Like, was that all him with those sword fights?
I don't know. I've never seen it before.
What?
Dude, you've never seen it before? Dude, no. The sword fights in those movies are top fucking notch, bro. He gets pretty damn sick real fast.
You did see the original Zorro from 1920, right?
Yeah, I watched whatever I've watched of it. I've seen like random stuff, but my childhood, I probably remember the Gay Blade more than anything.
For me, hearing you speak this way of Zorro would be like me telling you I never saw any He-Man.
I understand.
See, it's like I don't know when the
I
show
haven't seen
was
James
made.
Bond either, motherfucker. You notice that?
Oh, don't bring that up again.
What?
How?
I used to own every single James Bond movie.
I do now.
Until Pierce Brosnan era was over.
Joachim Stark says money.
Yes. And lots of money. Play.
I like money.
I don't get to use that very often, so that just happened to work perfectly there.
He has the same glasses I do. Oh. That's where I learned how to dance. Like when I took my game to the next level with that move. Yeah.
I love that fucking movie.
That movie is perfect.
Jonathan Archer says, what do you guys think of the new rumor that STD won't get a season 5? And is there a Midnight's Edge video coming to report on it? I think Andre has been working on a Star Trek video. Yeah. And actually it lines more up with what we were saying before. The rumor is that they were shooting because we predicted, or not predicted, but we had reported, I believe, on the rumor that they were going to do season 4 and 5 together, and that seems to be the case. And the other side of it we were hearing is that 5 is not only going to be possibly a very shortened season, that may very well be the movie, in quotations, they keep talking about. It's going to be a straight to Paramount Plus, basically wrap everything up kind of thing.
Yeah.
How come this piece of shit's going on longer than the original
because
series?
of contract.
I want answers.
It's a
I want
contract.
answers here.
Number one,
We've
it's a
given you the
contract.
answers. Go ahead.
Number one,
Script.
it's a contract. Number two, it's not canceled. So if anyone's saying it's canceled,
No.
sorry, they're jumping ahead here. And number three, I already know that I have a couple of friends who have just told me that for the past 5.5 years, they've been working on this show in production and have not been able to talk about it. And now they can because it's wrapped. And they're moving on to other projects, and they've been pretty much working solely for this show for that entire time. So that just means that it looks like things are up, at least on the Star Trek Discovery side of things. With regards to the other Star Trek shows that's under Secret Hideout, I don't know. Will my colleagues be brought back if they decide to do reshoots, or maybe they get another season? Possibly. But again, there's nothing confirmed on that yet. So
ask them if they broke down the sets.
If they broke down the sets, they weren't there for any of that type of stuff. Sets have been moved. Sets were moved like 2 years ago.
Yeah, script actually. That was when.
Okay, so Anson Mount, whom I follow on Twitter, tweeted 2 days ago that they were done with the was it 2 days ago?
They're not done. They're shooting their last episode as we speak. For Star Trek Strange New Worlds.
That's what he said. That's what I was about to say.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So it's about time.
Things are afoot. So yeah, stay tuned. I'm sure we'll have lots.
Script talks too fast. He talks like a Yankee. We Southern folk are just trying to get the words out.
He does talk awfully fast for a Canadian.
You're really leaning into that Southern accent there.
Well, that's because you're a Yankee and
it's kind of shifty.
Y'all talk fast up there.
It's kind of shifty, actually. There,
you sound like a cop.
You're talking way too fucking fast for a Canadian. Christian Corleo says the Epic of Gilgamesh could make a good movie. See that? There's tons of great shit. There's tons of shit.
Is Gilgamesh going to be a giant like he's depicted?
Well, I mean, he's a king.
It's a whole new movie. He's a historical king, but he's also being recorded as being at least 16 feet tall.
Oh, no wonder Nolan would be his friend.
Yes, and then see, because it's like Gilgamesh and Enkidu, and it's like the original tales that begat the whole thing of us thinking that there's a duality of religion, and it's pretty cool. That and Zoroastrianism.
Well, I mean, yeah, maybe. I mean, Gilgamesh is like the oldest human story.
Oh yeah,
like
it's extremely important.
Yeah, it's a great one. Sandra Hammerschlag, your comment there. CBS is not technically paying for Discovery. It's other entities. So it is true, but not entirely accurate. It's very complicated financing. It's not the same as it's not straight from, let's say the cow's teat to the calf, so to speak.
Yeah, that's been one thing is that's normal. Paramount's always looking for money for things. It's just,
other entities are paying for it.
Yeah.
Star Trek Discovery's primarily financed from Netflix, and I think a couple of other Canadian co-productions. So CBS doesn't really have anything going on there financially. They have the contract, and Secret Hideout is getting money from other places.
What they're not getting though is any merchandising stuff because there's no real merchandise.
Yeah, they have the rights, but nobody's buying it.
Exactly. That's where they're losing out on this shit. And no, I mean, I'm not gonna speculate on what script said, but that just kind of goes along with a lot of what we've been saying before. And I think there's going to be a lot of interesting changes coming up, and it all depends on if they decide they're going to renew the contract with Secret Hideout, which we don't know
yet. Yeah, nobody knows yet.
The problem with Paramount is, and I keep saying this, is I have a lot less faith in them than I ever used to, even though Sherry Redstone had kind of come back into the fold. The things I hear about how things are run over there give me no confidence that they'll ever get this shit back.
Yeah, it's schizophrenic right now. There's only one department that's doing anything good, and they're so small they don't have much influence.
Yeah, it's that's the thing in it because it goes beyond Star Trek. If it was just Star Trek, that would be one thing. But Paramount is a fucking disaster. They don't know how to do anything.
Yeah, right now they're doing everything they can to get as much money as they can for the moment just to keep afloat. They're spending a lot of money on buying spec and producing original screenplays for their services and also to sell to other streamers. And yeah, I mean, it's really what they got. Mission Impossible. They've got the Top Gun sequel,
Which they
and
got to bank on a lot. Yeah.
which is they're placing a lot of chips on those properties right now. And
But they
yeah,
can't do shit with SpongeBob. They haven't really done anything with him lately. They've done a
Yep.
few movies, but they ain't done very well.
they're screwing up with Transformers and Ninja
When are they
Turtles.
going to do
Ninja
SpongeBob
Turtles.
the college years?
Well, in Transformers, they don't even technically own. They're
But they
just
have a really good distribution deal. With
yeah. I mean, that's the thing. So like even those things, even if they fuck them up, they still are. They don't really have much. That's the thing. And then went and turned around and signed a deal with Netflix for Beverly Hills Cop, which could have been another franchise, but after seeing Coming to America, I'm not so sure now.
Abort.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like the
Dude,
properties
dude,
that
don't
Paramount
do
does
it.
have, they just don't know what to do with right now. Like that's the thing. It's just
No, they have zero vision there, and then they give it to guys like Alex Kurtzman because on paper he sounds like the kind of guy you would give this shit to, which I don't even know where they get that from. But again, it's just
well, they're looking at the veneer, but they're not opening the box inside to
Right.
see that's full of crap. It's just
well, yeah, they're blaming us for it. That's the other problem with a lot of this shit too. So, but hopefully, all these things we're hearing out of Trek, these are big changes and signs that things might be changing. I will say that much. I'm not trying to get anybody's hopes too high up, but I mean, a couple of years ago, they were saying shit like there's no money in it. Like they were refusing to even do the 4K. Like they got a bunch of fans together for the 50th anniversary, and they asked them a lot of what they should do, and they're like, "Yeah, we're not going to do any of that. What we are going to do is this." So it's like they're like, "So you brought us here to ask us all this stuff to basically tell us what you're going to do. Why even bother?" So it was basically just a roundabout fucking like publicity stunt, basically.
that was under Les Moonves's
Yes.
leadership too. Yeah.
Yes, and because all the guys went in there, including people like Bill Hunt and stuff like that. Maybe even Robert was there. I doubt it. At that
Nemechek was there. Larry.
yeah, there's
Nemechek
quite a
was
few
there.
people there, and they flat out told him, "Well, this is what we want. We want all the movies in 4K. We want the director's edition of Part 1, and if there's any extended cuts of all the other films, please put those out too. Finish off Voyager and DS9, and we're good. That's what people want." And that's when Paramount basically said exactly what I said. They're like, "Yeah, we're not going to do any of that. What we are going to give you is the 4K edition of Star Trek Wrath of Khan on digital, and we'll give you the director's edition on Blu-ray. That's it." That's all they did for the 50th anniversary besides re-release.
I hate to tell you guys this, but I could give a fuck less about any of this because the clarity of these movies is way better than what I'm used to. And quite frankly, I can't tell the difference half the time.
Do you have a 4K TV though?
Yeah, I have a very good
What are you watching?
video gaming TV. PlayStation 4.
Yeah, PlayStation 4 don't play 4K. It only plays video games in 4K, and that's if you have Pro. So that might be why is you're not seeing the difference.
Well, I'm still not going to buy a movie more than once.
No, I don't blame you. It's all on your personal preference, man. That's
It's like
It is
you could
what it
you could release the same movie 50,000 times on different formats or in different qualities. It's just like to me it just looks like you're trying to beg for money.
well, there's a difference, and
It's
I mean,
like,
I get
ooh,
where you're coming from.
here's the Goonies, but it has even cooler box art than the last one.
Well, I get what you're saying, and in those cases, I'm not going to argue, but there is something to be said for a movie being, remastered from the original negative in 4K. There's nothing that compares to it. Like the quality is insane in comparison. And if you're somebody who's not such a quality snob like I am, then you're not going to notice and you're not going to care.
Now, let me ask you a question because I was thinking about this when you were talking about A Clockwork Orange and how bad the background was when they were driving. A lot of these movies, couldn't they benefit a little bit from being just a little blurry?
No, I've heard that from so many people, and I don't buy into that. I just no.
You
I like
don't?
no.
You'd rather see that it's just a
Yep.
shitty background.
I don't care. It adds to the nuance of the film. And sometimes there's things you just don't see until you get to that level of quality. Because a lot of the Blu-rays and DVDs we have are actually from like 5th, 6th generation fucking from the original in some cases.
You know what drove me nuts the first time about movies? And all their special effects bullshit? Terminator 2. Right when Arnie walks into the bar, the guy stabs him, right? You know what? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, but that has less to do with special effects than it does continuity. But yeah,
It was a bad rubber knife.
You could see it, yeah.
Yeah, it bent like a finger before like it retracted into the handle.
I think that part was meant to be. I thought you were talking about the burn that disappears twice in the scene. But
Oh no, I didn't even notice that. Jesus
Oh, heck,
Christ.
do you remember the makeup guy from Batman from the 1989 thing, like wanting desperately to, when they did a remaster for Batman, to color correct out the purple hickey on Jack Nicholson's neck because it was just a bad reaction to like the coat he was wearing? And they
well,
said,
what it
no.
was actually, no, you're close. What happened was he got white makeup on the jacket, and it was quicker to actually go grab some purple fucking shoe polish or whatever than it was to fucking wash the jacket.
Oh, getting
So
grease
that's
paint
actually-
out of fuzz,
That's actually
impossible.
polish
on
on
the
his neck.
jacket, yeah.
Yeah, so in one of the scenes when he brought up the gun, it rubbed against his neck, but that happened to be the one that Tim Burton wanted. And yeah, people wanted him to fix that. No, do not fix that shit. Stay away from it. In fact, I swear, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, I think they fixed Indiana Jones without telling us. Because I could have sworn Raiders of the Lost Ark, you could tell Harrison Ford was behind a fucking glass thing with that Cobra, and I don't see his reflection anymore. Like I
was
used
just
to.
watching some other movie, and I know they cut a scene.
And I think
out
they
of it.
kind of cropped out the monkey boner a little bit too, but it's still there. I mean, I might be remembering it wrong, but somebody tell me for sure on the
Well,
Cobra.
are you sure it's the Indiana Jones or not Return of the Jedi with the
That
reflection of
they
Harrison
kept
Ford
that
running
one in,
away?
so I might be mixing the two. You could be right on that.
Yeah.
But one I do know they changed that always bothered me too is they fucked with Goodfellas, and they shouldn't have messed with it because I never noticed or cared before anyway. And they fixed one of the license plates in one shot. It's like, why? Who gives a shit?
That license wasn't registered at that point that year.
It was because it was in the wrong. Yeah, it was because they
Wrong
didn't.
state.
Yeah, the wrong. Whatever. It's like, who gives?
Halloween
a shit?
is famous for that one.
Oh, Halloween's got problems all over it. Like the palm trees in Chicago or Illinois. I mean,
It's really not nurtured soil. That's what it is. It's just
exactly. I mean, I don't mind those things. Those things are just kind of like, they're just part of what the movie is. That kind of shit don't bother me. But with the upgrade, what you do get is, especially when you get back to like going back to the original negatives, and I get you, Jesse. In most cases, you're not going to give a shit if you're somebody that's just not that into it. But you know how it used to be when you'd take a tape and you'd make a copy of a copy of a copy. Back
Oh
in the
yeah,
day.
yeah. When it's
The same
noticeable,
thing
it's bad.
applies to film, man. The same thing applies to film, and then the same thing applies to when you're putting it on into another medium. So you're getting that far away, even though we're doing digital now. I mean, to have that close to the original, like you see movies like 2001 in 4K, it's like they were shot yesterday, dude. They look gorgeous.
Yeah, but
Well, they
still,
also use original negatives,
are they
too.
really supposed to?
Exactly.
You don't think they lose something there?
No, not at all. Because I think you're actually seeing them the way they were meant to be seen. I mean, I'm sure there's a charm to some people. I know some people still watch VHS and shit, man. And I'm just like, how can you watch that muddy stuff? To me, I can't. Yeah, the generation loss, like Jed Raybold's brought up, to where at least on a 4K master, like Script's saying, from the original negative, there's so little loss that, I mean, you can actually now tell, because they used to have to do titles with opticals.
Yeah.
So you can actually tell when they have to jump between generations of a title scene nowadays. And to me, I just get kind of like a giddy little, like, I don't know. I love seeing the film dirt. I love seeing the speckles. To me, that's what makes it film. I love being able to see the grain, every bit of it that makes it feel like a film to me. And when I'm watching, and that was kind of the same thing when I finally got a hold of Star Wars in 4K, the original, not the Disney release, mind you, but the actual 4K 77 release. Watching it like that for the first time felt like I was seeing it for the first time in years.
And
'Cause
now
it
they
hasn't
just
looked
have
like
a filter for that.
Not necessarily. There's a difference. It's because
You've seen that, right?
It's been tweaked on the other end so many times by George Lucas. They don't look the same anymore.
Oh yeah, and there's especially those they keep changing these little things here and there.
Well, it's not just that. The movies look sterile now compared to what they used to.
Until
Yes.
Jesse gets a 4K player that's not a Sony PlayStation, his input on 4K movies.
No, I have another Blu-ray player that I usually use. But
Well, then
whatever.
you see the
Like
superior
if
contrast.
something is in HD, Like,
You're not wrong.
What do you
HD
need?
is good. HD is good for the normal consumer. That's as
Not
good
for
as
me.
most people are going to need.
Not
And
for
I mean,
me.
if you don't even have that big of a TV, 4K is debatable. But like Mike and I both have huge fucking screens. We're really into this shit.
Yeah.
I'm sure Script might even have a decent setup. I don't know what you got, but
Well, I have a projector. I don't have an actual TV.
now what kind of projector you got though? Do you got a 4K projector or is it an older one?
No, it's at best it does 2K, but it's mostly 1080. I
Well,
don't usually go into much 4K stuff. It doesn't really affect me, but I mean it's an 8-foot by 7-foot screen, so
Right.
it's pretty big.
Well, and there's even an argument to be made, and I've made this argument too, where a 2K Blu-ray even still looks that much better with a 4K master. Like,
Yeah.
there's a big discernible difference even
Yeah.
there, because I've had a few where I've compared them back to back, and it does. Jaws looks beautiful in 4K too. Oh my god, I think I cried the first time I watched that because I'm like, this
I
movie
have not seen that in 4K.
has never looked that good.
You recommend
before.
it, huh?
Oh fuck,
He
yes.
doesn't just look like a big rubber fish.
Well, so he always has.
He always
Yeah,
does look
I
like
know,
a big
but
rubber
that's
fish.
precisely my point. You're going to make that
But
more clear and obvious.
You just not that. See, to me, I guess you're looking at it from a completely different angle. Than
Yeah,
I
I'm
am.
looking at it as if
I
on
was
the
never
boat, and I would be
oblivious
like, why
to the
is there a
fact that-
Muppet hanging off the
Look,
back of the
look,
boat?
Oh my
Jesse.
God, Jesse.
I was never
What? I'm a
oblivious
pain
to
in
the
the
fact
ass.
that Godzilla was a fucking guy in a rubber suit. Okay.
Yeah,
And
and it was Hannibal. I
and
seen
I've
it
got
in the
no
intro to A-Team.
and I've got no problems with even seeing the zipper to said suit.
Yeah,
But I want to be able to just see it in the best quality ever.
See,
Like,
in my
I wanna
opinion, you
see
haven't
that
seen Jaws.
zipper.
You haven't seen Jaws until you've seen it on the waterfront. So where basically your back is to like a Great Lake or the ocean, and you're watching it on a big ass screen with a bunch of people.
well, that's part of the experience. Yes.
Okay. Well, you know what I can do? I do have a projector. I can set it up in the backyard next to my swimming pool, and I can watch Jaws in 4K. though.
Does everyone have to sit like in 3 feet of water?
No, but that is an option actually that we
Just
have in
easy.
Ontario
So
back before the
freaky.
pandemic.
Okay, everybody
Be
in the
boats and
stream.
tubes and stuff, and watched the Jaws on the waterfront.
Oh my God, that's our
Wouldn't it
next
be
one.
safer with a pandemic if everybody was in the water? Wouldn't the water just like carry it all away out to sea?
No, but
I
remember those rumors where it was
know.
It's an
transferable
ocean.
through liquid? Yeah.
I don't know, but I tell you this much: we could have like a watch party where everybody has to get in their pool or their bathtub, and everybody has to watch it on their iPhone, their iPad. We'll all watch Jaws together.
And risk getting water into your iPad or tablet.
No, you're holding it. You're just standing in the water, standing in the or come on.
Yeah, but if you're in a
People slip and
bathtub,
drop things from their hands all the time,
Well,
especially if it's a scary.
and
if
I
you're in a
said-
bathtub, you're gonna keep having to refill the hot water because the water's gonna get cold.
Yep.
Oh God, you two with your realism.
Plus, if I turn on the
are
jet thing, I
fun.
won't be able to hear the movie.
Okay, you guys are ruining the fantasy.
Hey, we got Jim
Look,
Carrey in
why
the
is there a
chat.
fantasy with
Okay.
all of us in bathtubs?
Hey,
said
whoa,
shit
whoa,
about
whoa, whoa.
bathtub?
Yo, this comes from the guy that was talking about bushes for like 20, 30
Yeah,
minutes earlier.
I know a 70s bush when I see one. That
Yeah,
is a
look,
Jesse
a
quote.
70s bush. Look, Brian texts me. He says that 70s bush is going to make a comeback. You watch. But 70s bush, sometimes it covers more than short shorts.
You need to put that on a fucking t-shirt. I know
What, a 70s bush?
when I see
It won't
one.
even be lewd. People be like, why are you wearing like furry pants?
The topics and subject matter carried by Midnight Edge After Dark are the opinions of the individual contributors and not held by the panel as a whole.
Oh shit! Hey, there is Sex World is in 4K.
No. Did Julio's just say do that? Scissors, just do that.
Where's my t-shirt? Which t-shirt? The 70s.
You want a
bush one?
t-shirt too?
Jesse's got to make one yet.
You owe Paulie a t-shirt also in addition to.
I have no idea. If I do, I forgot all
you have like
about
a
it.
little notepad where you write.
And now Bush Talk with Jesse.
If it's funny colors, just don't even go.
Why would it be funny colors?
I don't know.
How would you know?
I prefer
How
it
would
to be
you know
one
with a bush
uniform.
like that?
I would prefer it to be one uniform color.
Where do you-
That's all I'm saying.
What the fuck, Mike?
I'm getting grossed out here. I'm getting grossed out.
Over Bush.
I'm not talking about a taco verde.
Right. Why would you even know
Why,
that?
is
Why do you know how to say
guacamole
green in
pouring off of
Spanish?
that thing?
Why do you even know how to say green in Spanish?
because I took Spanish in high school, and I had a hot teacher named Christiana, and she was hot, and I don't remember it much.
You don't remember her last name, Mrs. You didn't call her Miss So and So. She was Christiana to you.
No, it was Lopes.
Wait,
that one out there. Yeah, she knows she's hot. It don't matter.
Woke?
No, Lopes.
Well, now she's like 67, right? I mean, at this age.
Oh
right?
God, I don't know. No, she was only like probably 45. Probably still hot.
Wait, she's 45 now.
She was 23. She was 23 when I was like 18.
Well, that means
That's not bad.
Yeah, no shit, right?
that she's still in your age bracket. You
that
can
work.
Jesse, I would love to see you go hunt her down.
If my old Spanish teacher is watching this and you're divorced,
Well, why don't you go find her and go hunt her down to get a little?
Because I'm not a fucking stalker, Mikey.
Well, I don't know, dude. I mean, the bush isn't gonna find you. You got to go hunt for the bush.
Yeah, it's with a
Bring a
bushwhacker.
machete.
The bush. You must use the force. You must use the force of the bush. You know, if we were
Gotta have a wrist
counselor,
rocket on you too.
you would be the bush. You would be the bush order. You would be like in charge of your own like band of weirdo Jedis.
Yeah, what you really got to watch out is for those bush fires. Because
God.
What about fire bush?
And our next entertainment topic.
That's perfectly fine. That's a whole different animal.
And our next entertainment topic for the evening.
And this is why you need to come out to Vegas with me, Jesse. This is bullshit.
Why? Because I'm actually like willing to go have fun and do stuff that's like fun.
No, because you're gonna take all the bush girls off the table, so the rest of us can have a good time.
Hey, look, I know how to buy a razor.
I can't go have fun in Vegas without Jesse.
And in other entertainment news.
So when's the next time I got a vacation? In September, let's go to Vegas. Me and you will try not to get arrested.
Well, I'm not going in August, so I don't know about September, but
why not?
You're
Let's
not
waste
going in
another
August?
$5,000 in Vegas.
Well,
Wait,
do that dance again. How do you do that again, Jesse?
Fuck
Jesse,
my
you can even
savings.
come stay with me. I don't care.
I need a hotel room.
Wait. Tom is offering to let Jesse be your roommate while you're in Vegas. Are you out of your mind, Tom?
No, because between the two of us, we'll go get a big ass fucking like presidential suite with like 2 rooms and shit, and we'll be living that shit's up.
Jesse never sleeps. He'll be like
a constant run of hookers coming in and out.
I sleep.
It'd be like weed guy,
once in a
hooker,
while.
weed guy, hooker,
Dude,
weed guy,
last night-
hooker.
last
weed
night-
guy.
No, you don't even need a weed
Pizza.
guy. There's a weed store right under Bubblegum Shrimp.
Well, that works too. But either way, I'm just saying, like, they deliver and shits. So like it'd be a constant stream of just like weed guy, hooker, weed guy, hooker, weed guy, hooker, pizza, weed guy, hooker, weed guy, hooker.
wow.
Pizza?
Well, you got to eat at some point, motherfucker.
Yeah, you know what kind of restaurants they got?
I know.
Pizza.
Well, you can, okay. Well, we'll leave once in a while. Lindsay, you can come over, please. I want everybody to be there. I don't want to be alone in Vegas, man. Fucking Jesse's leaving me in a lurch. I mean, I can hang out with Matt once in a while, but he's got like a girlfriend or fiance or whatever and shit. What? Just you can come to Vegas, Paulie. Bring her with.
I'm not going to Vegas, actually. For
Mike, what the fuck?
I can't, dude. I got too much. I'm too far behind at work.
All right.
I'm way so far behind.
I can
My
understand.
next
that.
vacation is September 26th.
Uh-oh,
October
6 is
5th.
coming to Vegas.
And then
I'm gonna be tied up
wait.
somewhere.
Did you say 6 is going to Vegas?
She said, I said I'm going to Vegas.
Oh, yeah. Okay, 6. Tell us in the chat.
Oh, Culture's going to be in Vegas. So we're going to have the
No, I'm not worried
the
about
glorious
culture,
hair.
But 6 should come with the.
are you going to get Culture in trouble?
And thank you for the $5 super chat, Culture. You didn't have to send money to say that. Script is very silent because I don't think he's going to Vegas.
I don't think I can get out of the country.
We wouldn't even know if he was there.
You'd have to look for the blue shirt.
Yeah, he
All right,
doesn't wear that blue shirt every day.
No, but it's
weird.
yeah. There's gonna be a bunch of Star Trek dudes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wearing dresses. Dude, the Star Trek
That was-
convention is totally not cool. I'm going to tell you why. All you got is a bunch of clogged bars, a bunch of guys crying in their beers about how far they've come. And then you got a bunch of dudes wearing dresses, bumming cigarettes off of me.
Don't give free cigarettes away. Those are
No,
expensive,
you were-
man.
Yeah, I don't know why
You
you're
sign
doing
on
that.
tonight saying that you're a bundle of like.
It's Jesse's fault that I
positivity.
still smoke, by the way.
Didn't you just sign on saying that you were a bundle of positivity earlier?
I am.
I thought he said he was.
Where-
I am.
where's that
I am.
positivity?
That's the thing. I am. They are not. They are a whole ball of bullshit and just bullshit.
No, Merheo. That what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
No,
What's
no
going to
evidence
happen with a
required.
bunch of nerds in Vegas? The only thing that I hope that stays in Vegas is the bush hunt. That needs to stay in Vegas.
Especially when Jesse's trying to fight with some homeless dude.
Look, the guy's trying shit with me. I was having a good time. I was making a video. He wanted to hit me with a handful of carpet strips.
Yeah.
Look, there's some guy like acting like a meth head, like fighting a car, and I was videotaping it. I wanted it to escalate.
Fight.
What did you throw a raw steak in the middle of them?
That was fun.
Yes, I do smoke, and I almost quit smoking, but somebody kept pushing cigarettes on me the whole time I was.
Why do you think I keep hiding my camera?
Are you smoking again? I thought you quit last year.
Oh no, I almost did.
Oh.
But if it wasn't for Jesse and that last day in Vegas, I would have.
Good
'Cause
job,
I had-
Jesse. Good job, buddy.
It's my own. I could have told him no. I'm just, he made him available. I guess that's the only thing I can.
Yeah,
No, the better part was when Jesse's like,
there.
"Look, we got all this pot, and we got to smoke it in 2 days."
Oh, I remember that.
He's like, "Here, eat this." I'm like, I'll eat one or two. He's like, "No, eat all of them."
Look, edibles aren't that strong, man. They just aren't. Just eat them all.
We were
You'll be
so
fine.
fucking wasted that day.
It's exactly why Mexican Iron Man and Polly are not going. There's
you
going to be
guys
all
are-
kinds of frolicking going on, and I is a southern genteel gentleman, and I just.
Do you have like a white suit?
Oh, I need a white suit. You know what I need? I need a. You know what? I need.
Do you just want to fight the
Sanders suit,
Colonel?
yeah.
I'm gonna get a new avatar for next week. It's gonna have a what's today? Today's Thursday. All right, for next Tuesday, I'm gonna get one that has a corn cob pipe like coming off my Mexican Iron Man helmet.
Wait, are you good at Photoshop?
No, but I
Because
can
you could do like you could get somebody to exactly cross the Colonel Sanders suit with a mariachi suit.
Don't give me ideas because I'll get Polly on it. Polly will help me. Polly's good at that stuff. He'll help me. I need a mentor. Polly's my mentor.
Art commence.
So yeah, all my boys are gonna be leaving me alone out in Vegas.
Leaving you alone. You're the one.
I told
taking
you
off-
last year I wasn't going, man. My I get one summer vacation,
I'm
and
too
that one
far
goes to
behind.
my son. Then I get these other vacations during the year because of the way they do shit at work. That like I got a vacation in September going into October, then I got one in April. What am I going to do with these?
I don't
My
know.
son's in school.
When I come see my kid, though, I'm going to swing by and visit because you're really close, Jim.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be awesome. Mexican Iron Man and Jesse will do a midnight sedge after dark from your kitchen live.
Now,
Okay.
if I actually order something that has to be delivered to Vegas, can't you deliver it?
No, I won't live in Vegas.
I still have to. I request you deliver it personally.
What?
How much
Wait,
do
wait,
you,
is he delivering
how much
it?
extra
Wait,
you
wait,
willing to pay?
Are you
I
ordering
don't
Bush?
know.
Are you at Order Bush
No,
online?
he's trying to get me out to Vegas.
No means no.
I think you're trying to get him to bring you some Bush.
I don't know. Why don't you call my job tomorrow? I'll give you my
What
DM's phone number.
what is Paulie saying no? What is everybody telling me no for?
Somebody's got to
Y'all
tell
are
you
party
no.
poopers. So I think Six asked when is the Vegas trip? Oh, it's August like 9th through the 16th, something like that. It's whenever Star Trek Las Vegas is. And Culture says, "Dang it, I'm gonna be in Vegas." You're also married and got tons of beautiful hair.
There's certain things a married man can't do in Las Vegas.
If loving Culture Casino is wrong, I don't want to be right.
Mike,
Hunt
why aren't
for
you going to be there
hoes.
besides work, man? If
If I
help
get
you
caught
do
up
your
in
work-
time, I'll be there. But I don't know.
Yeah, if I say if I help you do your work, I don't
How
do
are you-
math. I don't.
I'll totally help you do all these taxes.
You're gonna-
I'm just gonna fill
listen,
in
I got a
numbers
staff of-
all over the place.
I got 6.5 people working for me, and I'm still behind schedule.
This guy's name sounds Catholic. He's probably got about 8 or 13 kids. So there you go. Let's fix that.
Six says, I'll never tell you no. But what if it has something to do with a monkey and a lot of popsicles?
No. Oh, no. What the hell? What the hell? Wait, the monkey has bush?
I'm sorry.
Really, honestly, it gets boring fast because it's like you basically either go get yourself a drink, you go look at some casinos and hotels and shit, or you hunt for women. Gambling is stupid. Don't spend more than $500 on gambling.
No, and that's the other thing. I can't
like
go
a
gambling
weekend
without
even.
you, Jesse. I don't know how to do that shit.
I don't gamble. My life is a gamble.
Jesse,
For some
knows
reason,
how to
I do
walk
win
up to a
money. I
fucking
don't know
machine
why.
and just win money.
Yeah, you
My
remember
life
that
is a
day?
gamble.
He's just
I
walking
wa-
by. He's like, not that one. Not that one. Fuck that one.
Yeah,
And he's
I
like,
was like,
this
Tom,
one.
see, these people don't know how to gamble, and I put $100 into a slot machine.
He wins
and I
$200,
got-
$300, just like
yeah,
that.
I was like, come on, let's go.
He's like, let's go. Like, we got hooker money. No, I'm serious. I'm
It's like, do you
kidding.
play
It's
with some of
breakfast
the
money.
extra? No, you don't. You go to the cashier and then you go buy more weed.
No,
Why
that's
would you
actually
do-
probably what he spent.
I never understood the weed
Brr,
appeal.
brr, brr.
Weed
Oh
floats
yeah, I'm
people
buying
down.
meals out there left and right.
Jesse and I are weed connoisseurs. You don't understand. Like,
Oh.
I am like, is it okay?
yeah, go for it. Fuck it. It's
Get
legal
over
there,
it.
now, ain't it?
Beginning to look a lot like America, and it's all legal. Yo, this one right here.
Well, we'd like to thank everyone for and hope you're enjoying tonight. I hope everyone in the stream is enjoying tonight's educational and enrichment, the educational enrichment you're getting from tonight's show.
Yes.
Why don't you guys just set up like, your own like city tours of Vegas? Just when you go down there for a week, you just get people to pay you like $100 and you take them out for a night.
Because they'll want their money back. Vegas is surprisingly boring.
What?
You can't make it entertaining for them?
No, I'm gonna be like, look, you gotta go and just
No, you just don't
gotta
understand.
hunt for hoes.
Jesse and
Like,
I are
just
two
go-
guys in Vegas that are up to no good, and that's the only town we can get away with it in without getting arrested.
Exactly.
Oh, no. Wait, but how do we know?
When all else fails, you could always just hire a professional.
I have a question. Are you going to be transmitting live? If let's say I don't go, are you going to be
Transmitting is such a great choice of words.
I didn't say inserting. I said transmitting. Are you guys?
Yeah,
are you
like a
gonna
virus.
Are you going to transmit the show live, like from Vegas?
I know the boys are supposed to be bringing a bunch of stuff to do a Friday Night Tights thing.
Yeah, from hearing from the boys, they're going to bring all kinds of gear between.
And that's one of the reasons why I feel almost obligated to be out there. Otherwise,
I mean, Arcade's got a whole mobile kit, and
yeah, and then the Salty Nerd guys, they're supposed to be. They're going to be doing a lot of stuff too. So I'm sure I'll be definitely doing a lot of broadcasting and whatnot.
I don't think you need to take anything. You just need to say, "Hey, can I?" There's going to be
yeah, that's pretty much what it's going to probably.
I think
be.
there's going to be so many studio kits there. You don't even need to
Probably.
take anything.
Or just like my laptop just to plug in or whatever. And that thing's archaic anyway. I need. Yeah. Oh yeah. Culture says we'll be doing shows from there.
See,
Remember back in the day when everybody used to just bust
Midnight's
out their
Edge
phone?
After Dark Strip Club Edition.
wow, no, well, hey, wait. What days is this planned for? I'm on my way. Wait, what?
Let me ask you guys a quick
So I'm
question.
trying to say, Mike, how are you not going to be there, man?
Oh,
It's
I
gonna
gotta
be
get
just-
caught up at work first.
It's like bitches and
Wait,
weed.
when you're
Bitches
going on
and weed.
vacation and you're bringing your shit with you,
There ain't nothing
it,
else I need.
is it safe to pack?
I
a
just wrote another
microphone?
song. Okay, I got 3 songs now. I fucked a midget and bitches and weed. Okay.
Wait, what?
What?
Proud.
I
to
got her
be
finished
in
writing my
America
album.
where I could grow some weed.
I'm just in shock.
All
already.
I need is bitches and weed. Bitches and
It
weed.
continues to shock me why Andre never shows up for the After Dark.
Oh, it continues to shock you. And then my other song, I think that's the one script was like, what? Hey, what?
What was the other one?
I fucked a midget. Yes.
Yeah, that would be the one.
No, you didn't. Wait, I don't even want to know if you did or not. Wait,
Fuck
what?
yeah, dude. How could
I
you not?
would. It just hasn't presented itself.
If you had the opportunity, you saying you wouldn't?
No, I would not.
There's something wrong with you.
No, what are you talking about? Mexican Iron Man has. I don't want. Oh, God,
Right standards? Is that what you're gonna
little
say?
Person against stages is like, oh. You are,
Wait. Are you saying because I have what I was about to say because I have standards that makes me wait? What is it? I'm midgetist. Wait, what?
A
Yes.
heightist.
You're heightist.
I'm heightist. Well, look, I don't want to pee over her head. I mean, come on.
Oh, okay.
It was originally called shortest, but people kept getting it confused.
It's all very diminutive.
Look, guys, I got enough problems. Bambino, the Wonder Chihuahua here. Like, I'm just finding out he's an SJW racist. So I mean, we got issues here.
Daniel Hall's like stinky shit. Yeah, Daniel Hall. That may be like a bonus track. I have to re-record it.
Naked
And
fame.
you know
That's
what's
my
funny
problem.
is we all
I
think
don't
Andre's
know.
a pure soul, but that motherfucker's spending like all kinds of time at like fucking like bathhouses and shit. Lord knows what's going on there.
Yeah,
No,
he's just professional. He's
He's
still fucked up
Norwegian. Like
us.
sex
he's
is like
married.
No. He calls them the what does he call them? The rejuvenation salon,
rejuvenation
or something like
center or whatever. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a salon or whatever. Yeah, I'm just picking on him. He's probably listening. He's like, "You motherfucker."
Motherfuckers.
You need to stop talking about sex 24/7 on. It's Midnight's Edge after dark, Andre.
But now I
that.
have
We never
a
talk
machine
about sex.
gun.
If anything, you fuckers talk about food all the time.
Well, food and sex.
No. And then further entertainment news tonight.
So now
Anything?
we know that Mike is into golden showers.
No, we don't. Mike was just making a joke. Get it?
Well, you got to convince Annabelle and me now.
Hey,
Yeah.
you're being racist.
Hey,
Excuse
you know
me,
what?
it's critically challenged, you bigots. I'm sorry, Lindsay. You're correct.
Sorry, Lindsay. We're trying to be better people.
And I'm not a
but-
bigot. I fucked a midget, okay?
I fucked a midget.
It
But
writes
I
itself.
would not pee over her head.
Now,
I'm not-
the
I'm
only
leave
way you
that
could
line
go up one from that is to have her dress like a clown.
Stephen Otten is disassociating himself with us, just so you know.
Sorry, Steven. I love
It
you,
happens.
brother. Steven's my boy.
And this is actually going to be Andre's review of my album.
It's a Frankensteinian mess. It's hard to get better at it, Andre.
You're getting pretty good. Yeah.
It's still
Wait,
a lot
Mike is
better than my
defending Jesse's.
goofy
Oh, of
boys.
course we defend our boy's honor. We know he's a dirty motherfucker, but I fucked a midget, so he can't say shit.
I think we heard you the first 4 times.
I know it's a little person, but it doesn't sound as funny the other way. I'm sorry.
I think we've heard
It's a little person and a lot of loving.
I need to write that down. Hang on.
It's a little person and but a lot of loving.
Yeah. He's gonna use that in a bar.
Shouldn't that just
one
be the
day.
title of the song?
No, I fucked a midget has a ring to it.
It sounds more like a bridge.
It does. A bridge or a follow up.
Yes.
Mitch, were you there?
No, she can only go up.
At it. No,
No, that's true. Like they can only.
I
go
gotta
up.
write this shit
She
down.
went
God
sideways
damn it!
on me.
Okay, wait. What was the first thing again? Son of a bitch.
Well, just go back into the stream. It's recorded.
I forget.
It's a little person, but a lot of loving.
Little person, but a lot of loving. Little person.
Sometimes a little pushing gets a lot of shoving.
Hold on, Jesse.
Slow down. He's right. We have a lyrical genius here at work, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
This is going to be bigger than even the last one.
Now you pick out 4 different power chords and you put them behind that.
You wouldn't
bitch.
go down
Why do you need
She's going up on me.
What's
Things
the
are
matter
getting
with
down.
you?
because she
Or
had to go.
Things are
Okay,
getting down.
I'll
when
work
she's
with
going
that.
up on me.
I
Because
just
when
had
you
to write it
remove
down.
the major third, it all mushes together and no one notices.
See, Jesse's got to help me produce this shit too. He knows more about music than I do. I just know what I like and what sounds good, and I can do like a few things. But like Jesse actually knows music. He does not give himself enough credit. Willie Woodward says, "Wait, you mofo's are going to be in Vegas? Am I invited?" Well, yeah. Also,
Everyone is
Mexican Iron
invited.
Man,
That's
come
how
along.
partying
Don't
works.
puss out. Yeah, we hope so. We hope he gets his work done. Go help him with his work. You might know more math than I do, Willie.
Okay. Yeah. Who wants to come to corporate tax returns?
Everybody. Eric K says, "I am not associated."
Accurately.
He's even though Eric K is a wrench now, he says, I'm not associated, nor do I condone any of the actions in this stream.
Look, taxes might be a little bit boring and maybe a little bit hard, but have you seen this guy's house?
And it wouldn't have been a confession outside. I've been bragging to the priest. It'd be like, you know, Two Live Crew would be. That makes.
Imagine if somebody left the confession and started bragging about how they got. Yeah,
that touched me.
Yeah, so the priest.
How many?
You know what, motherfucker? You really got to watch out for the priest in the scout troop.
I'm gonna need therapy after tonight, and I'm gonna need counseling.
On the weekend, he performs at children's parties.
No wonder I keep losing fucking subs.
Like we're not gonna even. We're gonna be the first channel in YouTube history to demonetize itself permanently. We're like, where did our subs go? We're down to 943.
I'd say we're above rated R. We're just about like Playboy TV. Not quite all the way hardcore, but we step over that fucking line of R. Heavy duty there.
Well, you can't just be gaudy about it. You know, you gotta class it up a little bit. You can't just jump to the butt cake. You gotta kind of work your way up to it. And yes, E. Clay, this does mean that you are radicalized now, just so you know. Yeah, you're gonna get tossed off the socials.
If we're gonna go super after dark theme, well then we have to have a Latino romantico momento where I take a moment and give tips on how to be romantic like a Latino.
Well, we won't pressure you too much, Paulie. We wouldn't make you do
Cicero.
We'd get you back in rehab anyway.
That would be a good bit with him being Cicero. Cicero, right? Giving him all these things to say to the chick.
Yeah, that's my job. Latino.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like Latino, that's the one Roxanne's based on, right?
Yeah.
Minuto Romantico con el Mexican Iron Man. Tortilla farmer. It was scary last night. I thought I was gonna lose all my tortilla crops in the tropical storm.
How many points do I get for that one, Script?
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Exactly.
He would give me advice to say to women like, just like when I was a small Mexican child. Like
I was born a poor black child.
That's the greatest scene ever.
The Jerk's a great movie. People should watch that.
People should watch The Jerk and then watch Bowfinger.
When comedy was comedy.
And Mitch, you've been just firing him in here. He says, I'm just the right amount of tired and screwed up to dig this stream. And you're right where I'm at.
The right amount of tired, screwed up, and high, possibly.
And potentially inebriated, yes.
I
never
12 and a half hours today, and I came home and smoked a bowl, so that's where I'm at.
As long as he didn't drink yet, then he's just
No, I'm on the Coca-Colas. They're not good for you.
Yes, and we all love Script Doctor Rennie. We love him.
Script Doctor's like our Eagle Scout. He's like our moral.
He's such a good boy.
He's like our compass. He's our moral and intellectual compass.
Such a good boy.
It's a heavy weight, but I'm happy to put it on my shoulders.
he's like the Eagle Scout. Like God forbid the four of us are in a raft at sea. It's Script Doctor that'll be like writing the action plan out as to how we're going to get back.
This is what I picture Script Doctor looking on the other end of some of our conversations. Just like.
That's more of an Andre look, I think.
There. Yeah. It's like you need to stop.
That was a good one.
And then I wonder why I keep losing subs.
What did Mike just say?
I don't know. I had this big boost, and all of a sudden I lose 20 fucking subs in one show.
It's called leadership and vision.
It's all about Bush.
I think that's probably where it happened. Wasn't it?
Yeah, Mike was puking. Oh crap! Actually, like Jesse, this is nothing compared to some of the shit Jesse does. Because like Lindsay says, "Hey, that's me during Jesse." Yeah, I've been on a few of those streams. You guys talk about just about anything there. Definitely check out Jesse's streams for that kind of stuff. Mike, when are you gonna make a video?
A video of what?
Anything.
A video of doing what? What would I be doing?
Taxes.
Getting your armor on.
Oh God, are you kidding? First of all, I would need a bottle of. I would need.
You should have a video of you giving someone a tattoo, but it's not like really you giving them the tattoo, obviously. But
You're just writing their taxes. You're just writing on their back, like filling out a tax form on their back.
You know, on the Latino slant, Paulie's got all these videos.
and then you go, shit, it went through.
Paulie has these videos where he's like has like a fat Mexican laughing, a fat Mexican dancing, and like I've gotten so many DMs. Mexican Iron Man, is that you in the video? No, it's not me. I have all my teeth. Oh
no, that's Fluffy, you asshole.
Bad Bunny says I should do a porn video. Oh, I don't know about that.
There you go.
We don't want to lose any more subs.
You just say yes and deal with it later.
That's right.
We want to increase the sub count here. No, we don't want to lose the subs we got. Sandra will be like, gone.
Here's some video of Jesse
Lindsay
in
will be
Vegas last
gone.
year. I do have some video footage. They were asking for video footage of you, Jesse. So here we go.
Sir, how high are you? No, officer, you're wrong. It's high. How are you?
Is that Hunter Biden?
Oh, that was you.
I don't think he's got that much wit.
I can see Jesse doing that though.
The key is you got to pull away really fast before you can get back in his car, but not too fast. It's got to look normal.
Eric K says I shouldn't do any porn because they don't want to see any of my shortcomings. Okay, you know what, Eric? You know what? Okay, bro. Okay, you know what? Okay, yeah. Thanks for the support there, buddy. Thanks, Eric K. Okay.
Just remember, Eric's going to be out in Vegas.
Is he?
I think so. He said he's gonna.
Okay, now I'll go.
It may not really be Jesse, but oh yeah, Jesse would totally do that. I could see it, while he's working, even. You're like, how's my driving? You're parked, sir.
Yep.
Isn't that from like Black Sheep, where they're like stoned in the back of the car or something?
No, that was from Cheech and Chong.
Oh,
hey man, how's my driving? I think we're parked, man.
So good.
I think they're stuck in the middle of the thing there. All right, let's wrap this up, kids. We've lost enough viewers. I apologize.
Why? We're having fun.
Oh, it's fun, but yeah, for those we're
well, you know what? Those viewers will be replaced by more fun people.
Well, or more bush, or more
great.
bush
They probably
people.
just had stuff to do. I mean, it's getting late on the East Coast, and it's only 100 people. You know, they maybe had to go to bed. They went to bed laughing.
I want pizza.
Yeah, Jesse. Last night after you sent me the link for the game, the live stream you were doing, my power went out at like right at midnight. It was awful.
My power went out yesterday too.
Put this on the back of that T-shirt, Jesse.
This whole storm is messed up.
On the front, it says, "I know 70s bush when I see it." Then on the back, put in parentheses really small. Wouldn't scissoring chicks that don't shave start a bush?
Isn't that what the Girl Scouts do whenever they're desperate?
Oh,
there's a Tinder joke in here somewhere because
I don't know.
Tinder.
I'm more just like, wow, script.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
I never noticed that he had a statue of owls behind him.
How dare you?
How dare she? Okay. There's
Sucks camel dicks.
I went to the bookstore and there's a book by Greta Thunberg, and I'm like, she didn't write that shit. Who are you gonna fool into thinking she wrote that shit? She didn't write a whole book.
Roasted script.
Fool.
What was that?
What'd you say, Jess?
Greta Thunberg. I went to Barnes and Noble and there's a book written by her. I know she didn't write that fucking book. Everybody knows she didn't write that book. She can't write a whole fucking book.
What else
Could have dictated it, but I don't know. I haven't read it yet.
Dictated what? She'll run out.
Just randomly streaming into a microphone for.
There's going to be a
hours.
shopping list in there somewhere when she forgets what she's talking about.
Could
She's going to start talking about cartoons when she was a kid. I know
I
my
don't know
own.
if she's ever seen a cartoon. Like
Is
she's
she?
anyway. I'm not gonna get into it. She's 18.
She lived under
now,
she
isn't
lived under a staircase in the basement.
I hate talking bad about kids, so
I don't give a fuck.
unless they're mine.
Kids are assholes.
Kids are assholes. Speaking of kids being assholes, you should check out Mandy's video that we dropped earlier on the channel that Andre conducted, where he decided to show Mandy, poor girl, the latest video from the lead singer of Rammstein called "I Hate Kids."
Wait,
Oh
what?
gosh, how did she take
Wait,
that?
what
Oh, you guys
And,
just
and
need
it's
to find out.
completely free, guys. It's demonetized because, of course, they claimed it. So
Wait, what happened?
all the work that went into it is just for you guys to enjoy.
Where's
So
that
that's
at?
a freebie. It's on Midnight's Edge After Dark.
Mandy's
I'll-
reaction to the music
yeah.
video.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Wait, who showed it to Mandy? You
Okay,
did?
hang on. I'll show you the first few seconds just so you know what the fuck's going on here.
All right.
All right, just so you kind of have an idea, and hopefully it won't get me too demonetized. Although we probably already are. Yeah, this one actually got claimed because of the music and stuff. But yeah, we're gonna skip through this stuff here.
Familiar with the group?
Wait, that's Andre?
Yep.
Mandy, are you familiar with the group called Rammstein?
Are they the ones that did Du Hast?
Yes, they are
Yes,
the ones
okay,
that did
I'm-
Du Hast.
I know one song. I know one, and it's Du Hast.
Bring about what their music videos are like, or their imagery, or anything like that.
Just the Du Hast video. If they're all like that, then perhaps. But I used to jam out to them in high school, like the one song when it would come on MTV.
Okay, what you're about to watch right now,
Oh God.
not technically Rammstein, but it's the singer from Rammstein. Because in between gigs and albums and concerts, several of the band members, they do their own solo projects. And this is a solo project from the lead singer, Till Lindemann. Now you're going to react to a video called Ich hasse Kinder, which means I hate children.
What? Are you just messing with me?
No, really, it's called I Hate Children. And what you need to know in advance is that the lyrics are all in German, and the
Okay.
video takes place in Soviet Russia in 1989 or thereabouts.
All right.
So that's all you need to know. Now, you ready to watch the video?
I am so ready.
So
to
there's
watch
the
this.
setup for you. So check that
Okay,
video
here
out.
we go.
Like I said, we're not getting anything for it because of the whole copyright claim business. If we play any more, we'll get a claim here too on top of it all. But there's the link in the chat. It's a freebie for you guys. Enjoy it. I think Andre wants to do some more of those, but yeah, for them to be popular, they got to be pretty popular for us to be able to do them. So
Oh God, this is gonna be a train wreck. I can see it coming.
yeah,
Was there English subtitles on the video so she knows just how much
she
that
goes
engaged
to the
with
video first and just reacts to what she's seeing and hearing as is. Then Andre translates it for her. And in that sense that he does a really great, he put it all together. I feel bad for him because he did a really great job putting this together. And then like we had the first time we put it up, it got blocked worldwide.
Oh yeah, that's why I don't talk about music anymore.
And so then we figured out the best way, and then we just like, oh, whatever, it's gonna have a claim no matter what we do. So we just like, fuck it. So yeah, no, it's a treat for all you guys. Like I said, we don't get shit for it. So, but yeah, enjoy it. It was a lot of fun for them to do, and I think they're planning on showing it to Lorena and some of the other ladies too to see their reactions.
This is great. Well, all right,
kids,
we're out of
let's
here.
get the hell out of here. Check out Mike's channel, even though he doesn't put anything on there. Check out Jesse's channel. He'll probably be streaming in the next 5 minutes. He's always streaming. For a man
Not
that
tonight.
works
I
12 and a
think
half
tonight
hours
I'm
a day.
gonna get some sleep.
I agree with you. You need it and deserve it, man. And Script Doctor, I know you've been on a lot of other people's streams and you haven't really done much lately, but do you have anything coming up on your channel? You've just been so busy you just haven't even been able to think about it.
Too busy to really give it the time it needs. Yeah, just working on a screenplay, and
Still check it out just the same though.
yeah, still check it out if you want to like learn some writing tips and see some terrible show examples of how not to do something. And we're on my channel.
And yeah, you know, if you ever want to stream, let me know, man. I'll help you out, man. You know that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So we definitely need to get some script doctor streams where people, I'm sure they got tons of questions they'd love to ask you.
I would not be surprised.
Like, how big is it? Your house.
I don't own a house.
Anyway,
I want to.
See, I can be funny. All right, kids, let's get the
wait till it's time to move away and do what Mike did. Go down south, man. You get so much more bang for your buck.
There you go.
Yeah, that's my plan.
All right, kids. Take care, everybody. We love you. Take care of yourselves and each other. I'm going to give myself a lazy puppy today. Just cause.
Good night.
He's a cute puppy. And we're going to go.